said so long, carry on, 'cause the devil wants to take me for a ride.
Without getting fucked up anymore, like the only outlet I guess I have like is beating my meat in violent video games. And I come home from and I'm like,
do you beat your meat too violent video games?
well, violence is in my mind when I'm beating my meat. So, but
violent meat assault. I feel you. I mean, mine's like the gym too. So it's like I need to decompress from work. I go to have a light day at the gym, and I'm fucking in the steam room, and
that's what I'm.
Should we just? We're fucking.
Yeah, we already recorded.
Stay on this tangent. The audio is not video. But
oh yeah, sure.
We can't be talking shit about our union officially.
I have on my show, so I have many a times.
Should I put this closer? Or are we good?
Yeah,
here?
try to keep it at all times. Like
you like it right up. What's in here? What kind of mic we got there? Oh, 57. All right.
57A, I think.
Cool.
Some 7.
Perfect.
7B.
No, it's 57.
57.
Yeah. Same as a 58, pretty much. Like that.
Yeah, you gotta deep throat it.
Welcome to the Michael Bain Fuck Fest. We're here to fuck mouths.
I have
cones on them too underneath the black, the pop filter there.
What do you got under it?
I got like a gold.
A grill?
They have gold.
The grill?
The grill. Yeah.
Instead of the regular 57 like square thing?
I hate how that looks.
Yeah. Yeah, decent, fine. I use 57s and 58s for like
these are nice.
Shit. Fucking boom. The 7Bs are great though too if you get those.
7B is the cone one, right?
It's like a lot cylindrical. Yeah, it's bigger.
I have one of those.
That's
They're
like yeah.
They're
like 4, yeah, like 4, something like that.
They are nice though.
Fucking, you can sing in the yeah. They sound good for that's a cheap mic for like top end.
You don't need it's really in the production.
But
we make one of these sound like that.
Yeah, we had a fucking Peter Kepler who ended up winning some Grammy, Emmy, I don't know, whatever fucking won for the dude from Talking Heads thing that came in. Mm-hmm. David Byrne.
Yeah.
Did the cool Broadway. Were you on that? Were you around for that? It was cool.
I might have been.
It was David Byrne, like Broadway, where he took a bunch of Talking Heads music and with live band and made it like a show. And his sound guy, Peter Kepler, is like a legendary sound guy. He was also David Bowie's sound guy. And he was playing me just shit he had recorded from David Bowie rehearsing.
Really?
And it was like all the shit, like 58. Like I'm like, what does he sing it through? He goes, SM58. Yeah. He's like, I put 57s on the amps. Like it's fucking $100 microphone. It sounded better than the fucking album version of the song because this guy was so good. I mean, I'm sure he had it going through like a real nice preamp and some nice, a nice old school compressed 1176s or something. But it was like.
Fucked up how you go to Guitar Center though. And like all the same shit, maybe even with some of the legendary albums we recorded with a couple $100.
Some people need to understand, like you use, like the 58 is just, because it's used so much in every club and everywhere across the world, that people's ear hear that as a professional sound. Like the tone that it gives you is a common professional tone that you hear. You go to a packed club and the guy's singing through a 58 and you're throughout the years, people that don't know any better, that's what they hear. So they're like, oh, that's fucking really good.
Well, it's all somebody's. When somebody gets the idea that this is professional, that's what it is. Even if it
it's
isn't.
illusion.
Even if
the other half of that is nobody notices good sound. They notice bad sound. If the sound is done well, it's the art. Oh, that guy sang awesome. That band sounded fucking awesome. And the better the sound guy does, the better they think the band is. But as soon as something goes wrong, the sound guy's a fucking.
The sound guy's a.
Yeah. I've had the shitty fucking bands, and I'm like struggling to fucking make them sound halfway decent.
Yeah, to fix it up and
it's like, you guys suck, man.
that was actually maybe that answers my question. But I've gone to like shows, obviously you have openers, and then you have your headliner, and I've noticed that progressively throughout the show, it's starting to sound better and better. Mm-hmm. The headliner sounds the best.
Yeah.
Does every band have their own sound engineer?
Usually, yeah. So what that'll happen with me a lot. What'll happen, right, is the headliner will bring their own sound guy, and I'm the house sound guy, and I'll do the opener. Okay. I'll get the headliner will get their sound check with their same sound guy that's on the road the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's got it, if it's a good sound guy, he's got it locked in. He's just got to kind of figure out the room a little. My advantage is I'm used to my room, so I kind of have some preset shit. But I'm usually taking a band I've never heard live, and I'm not used to any of them. And I usually get a shitty little 20-minute sound check where I spend half the time getting their wedges right because they're fucking picky.
What they're doing.
I don't actually get a real sound check, and then I'm going off the cuff. So when they start on the actual show, that's like I've only really gotten 5 minutes to be mixing. Ever. So then throughout the first few songs is where I really get the vibe of a band and start tweaking things and EQing things right and getting it together a little. So by the end of the opening band set, I got them sounding pretty fucking good. But then bam, the headliner goes on and they got their guy that's been mixing them every single night over and over and over and tweaking for, months. So it's going to be bam,
Yeah,
I like to think I do all right.
Yeah, you do fine. Well, it's a one night stand.
Yeah.
It's a musical one night stand.
And then, like I said, when you have good musicians in there, it's like fucking easy. It's easy. It's really easy, man. Elton John cover band. Were you on that thing?
I did the last one. I think I worked with you was it was right before Christmas, and it was an impersonators group for
Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee, and
all the old rockers.
See, the last good one I mixed was Elton John, because I didn't mix that.
Yeah,
but that guy was good, the sound guy. But this Elton John cover band came in a few months back, and they were just fucking awesome. Like, awesome. So I started going to sound check, and they started playing, and I kind of just had my preset, like, what tends to sound decent in the room and how I like to kind of start things, and I'm listening, and I'm like, sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, as the guy sang, I kind of EQ'd his tone of his voice a little and stuff, but he just sounded like Elton John. And so when they played, we got all kinds of good messages and reviews about how good they sounded. And it made me look fucking good. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I just put my presets in and let it go because they were just such good musicians.
Let it do its thing.
And that was fucking nice.
Have you had somebody who was so bad you couldn't cover their shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we recording now?
We are.
I'm not going to name names.
You don't have to.
So we had a band come in, and I'm mixing the opener, and they show up hours late, and it's their first. The headlining band was amazing. I'm not going to name the names, but the headlining band was fucking awesome. Their sound guy comes in. I could tell he knew what he was doing. He was awesome. They do a sound check. We're waiting on this. They had this other opening band for the rest of the tour. This was their first night on this leg of the tour, this opening band coming in. And they came in hours late. They had this tiny little space to set up. They wanted like 5 or 6 wedges in like this little confined space with like, and then in-airs that I wasn't told about, and they wanted all this stuff. And I keep going, look, you got 20 minutes till doors open. I need you to play a song, please. And they go, well, I can't hear this and I can't hear that. I go, that's cool. I go, our monitor guy will work through it, but I need you to play at least a song. I need to get you going out here. And the main singer girl, just like she said I was mansplaining, she flipped out. She refused. It was actually Kurt. He had electrics. Kurt was like, he was like, hey man, he's like, hey miss, he's trying to explain to you why, he's trying to explain to you why you can't hear yourself yet. You got to play the song, and he can start bringing things. And she just lost it. And she basically made like a angry speech for like a half hour for her sound check.
Yeah.
And the stage manager went and got them extra time and delayed the doors so they could actually get a sound check in after her angry speech. But she just lengthened the angry speech. And at the end of it, I go, okay, like, you know what? Maybe you're right. And I'm sorry if I upset you, but like, I want to make you sound good. That's my job. Can you please just play a song? I promise I can make you sound good out there if you just play a song. Yeah. And she puts her guitar down and fucking storms off. No. So when they came out, I was like, at first I was like, I'm not going to even do anything. Like I just fucking barely turn anything up. And they start playing. I was like, the drummer's actually pretty good. So I made the drums sound good and the bass sounded good. But yeah, at the end of it was like, I did a lot with what I had just because out of pride, but they weren't going to be good no matter what. No. And I think that's why they were not really cooperative in the first place. I think that singer came in and she was nervous, She didn't have a powerful voice. It was a big tour. Maybe they hadn't done something like that, and she was just nervous, and it was like a freak out. And I was like, I can't help you if you can't play a song, right?
Yeah, you can't.
But it gets that bad.
Can't make dog shit.
I mean, you got to remember, like, I don't know how to tell them. Like I've been on the other end of this. I've been blackout drunk, like sound checking and being an asshole. Like I get it, and you want to hear. Like I get what you want to hear, and I get it, but you got to play. So that was probably the closest to like I couldn't really work with it. Did that or like people come in with with the headset talking mics that I hate, and they're wicked ringy and they sound thin.
I hate those.
And,
I hate those
then
for
they don't
stand-up.
let you tape them or solidify them,
Yeah.
and they flap their fucking face around, and the mic's like out here. And it's like, what am I supposed to do about that? You know?
Has being on the other side of the audio board affected how you perform now?
No.
How you play music? No. Or did it just give you...
I'm nicer to the sound guy.
Yeah, he gave you more empathy for
Yeah, that's
for the
about
sound
it.
guy.
That's about it. I'm nicer to the sound guy. But, no.
Because I imagine
Just
you...
show up and know your shit and play good, you know, and be patient. Like, if you're getting a house sound guy, he's never even heard you before, and he's supposed to kind of figure out
Yeah.
what makes you sound good in 2 minutes. Cool. Like, then just play for him, right?
Did you always sound check when you were in your band?
Yeah.
When you were in Death Before Dishonor?
Yeah, usually. Yeah. Like, once we got to that level, you know, obviously not like a VFW show, all these old school punk shows. Like, you do a quick line check a lot of times, and then you'd kind of go for it. But you usually have a pretty awesome house sound guy in those things.
Yeah.
That'll get you going. Like Middle East downstairs always had a great sound guy throughout the years, and Palladium upstairs always had a great sound guy. They'd always have some guys, some old fucking rock and roll dudes that just knew it and knew their shit, you know.
Those are the best guys for the job.
CBGBs. We didn't even line check.
No?
And we opened for Agnostic Front like near the end of CBGBs, and it was like, it sounded amazing. Because it's like, guy's been the sound guy at CBGBs for probably 3 decades, you know? It was fucking awesome.
Would you ever have just show up at a place where there was no sound check? You're like, oh, we're gonna eat a dick tonight, and it's just gonna happen.
Not really. I mean, yeah, but like I said, like we knew when I was with the band, you know, like for instance, if I was getting blackout drunk and like fuck it, it's because we played the same set for like, you know, pretty much the same set for year after year after year, and we're doing 250, 300 shows a year. Like we know our fucking shit, so we're not that worried.
Yeah.
We're gonna crank everything and we're gonna nail it, or Brian, the singer, is going to be so drunk it's just going to be entertaining anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like people love that shit too, so we were never too concerned about it.
As I've done comedy shows where I show up and they record this mic and there's no batteries for the mic, and they're like, oh, well, someone will. I guess I'll. You know, usually there's one person trying to do everything, and they go,
Yeah.
I guess I'll go to the store, and I go, I want to go home, so I'll stop the show and I'll just yell because I know the act.
Yeah.
I can project my voice.
Yeah, right. If you know your shit, you're not generally too worried about
No.
it. And that's on both sides. I've had the road sound guys come in that are totally calm and like, yeah, man, just get me hooked into the system and we're good. And they're not freaking out. And those tend to be really good sound guys. And same as the musicians that come in. And they, you know, they obviously want to hear more of themselves or more of this or that, like what they need to hear. But after that, they're done. They're not picky, you know. And it's because they know their shit and they know how to play or sing, and they're gonna make it work. You know, first music I mixed in that theater was Billie Eilish. Right when she was getting big off that first song, Ocean Eyes. I hadn't even heard her yet.
Billy's good.
Yeah.
She can sing.
So it was her and her brother, Finn, right?
Yeah, I ran Spot for
They
them
were
right
so
after that. Spotlight
fucking
for them.
cool and nice. And she was like, this is, you know, whatever, 6 years. Right as she was getting big, I hadn't heard of her yet.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I mixed on sound was just her and her brother with acoustic guitar singing. She's like, you know, she's in sound check. I'm like, I'm real sorry. I haven't been feeling well. I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound good and this and that. And then she goes to play. They go to sound check real quick, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like
Yeah.
she can sing."
And
I
really
was like,
sing.
and I was like, "I'm not doing shit. I'm turning this up, and I'm
Yeah.
not messing with nothing. I didn't even EQ her voice, besides like getting the ringiness out of the room. Nothing. Like they were awesome, awesome. And I was like, that was my first time mixing there, so that made me look good. I was like, that was fucking easy. All right.
Yeah, there's certain people you see and you go, oh, you have a voice, and then sometimes you see someone and you go, oh, what the fuck? It's
Yeah.
like if you ever see an actor in person and you go, oh, you're not as good looking as I thought you'd be.
Yeah.
And you realize, oh, they fixed this in editing. And
Yeah, it's
then,
like production magic or whatever.
who did I see who I really liked? I saw Die Antwoord.
Oh, I fucking love them. Man.
I love them.
Love them. I've been I've seen them for years.
I saw them at the Pavilion, and it's a girl. I can't remember. her name.
Yolandi Vissa.
Yolandi Vissa.
Yolandi Vissa.
Her voice was a little off. And I went, oh, fuck.
Really?
It was still
Oh,
fun.
see, I seen them. First time I saw them was, what's it, the Roxy, the upstairs there?
Yeah.
No, is that the Roxy, the upstairs one?
I think
You
so.
know that whole, whatever it is now. You know what club I'm talking about. Right next to Nashville. Right next to the Schubert.
Yeah.
And there's like an upstairs club and a downstairs club. So whatever the upstairs used to be called, I saw them
Yeah, it
there.
was
like,
Roxy.
I ran over there after work one time. And this was like a long time ago. And they opened with her singing that "Fuck you and I, fuck you and I," that song. and I was like, this is fucking, like she sounded awesome. I mean, I was like, I saw that with my first wife. So
Yeah.
This was a while ago.
I played their music for my wife, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" I played her the one where they just
they don't get they just do whatever.
Singing about having a big dick. It was the
evil boy.
Evil, why is your name so big? All the better to love you with.
Dude, they're so fucking good, man.
I sing that song to myself. No glove, no love. If you don't believe, take your one day out of my high. I don't know the African part.
It's fucking awesome.
Wonder what's easy. And I made her watch.
Have you seen the video?
And it's just
with the big dick.
It's just people walking around with giant dicks. There's just dicks flapping. There's that weird guy in the monkey suit. He's like an ape, like a gremlin, and his tail is a dick.
Yeah.
But
have you seen what's the Ugly Boy or whatever one?
Ugly Boy's good.
Is it Ugly Boy?
Yeah, Ugly Boy is.
What's the black and white video with all the like crazy looking.
So that one's Enter the Ninja, where like there's like
that's like the black and white crazy shit. Yeah.
And then,
dude, so good.
I played it for my wife, and she's like, "What is this?"
I rocked that at the gym a lot.
What she can't. She's a lot more. How do I put?
Well, I could tell. Like for me,
person.
that hits. But I can understand why a lot of people are like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
yeah, but she's kind of just accepted that's. So I was watching this anime called Berserk the other night, and I get to a scene in the show where they're hunting down these trolls, and they go into a troll cave, and the trolls are just raping women. It's just, dude. It was so.
I never watch any of that shit. It
was so awful that like after I turned off the episode, I was like, I don't know if I can watch this again. It was, It was like a fucking rape orgy, and it was so fucking.
This is anime trolls.
So it was.
You gotta text me that later.
And and there's already been multiple rapes in this series, all right, where a chick gets raped by people, by a demon. Almost,
that's like, dude, that's the hardest shit. That's harder than like mass murder in movies. Like
it was. I could make it through the other scenes because it wasn't too graphic. This was explicit, and I just went, "No, I'm out."
Was your wife watching it with you?
No. She called me, and she goes, "What's going on?" I had to turn the show off, and she goes, "What's it about?" And I go, it's about this guy who's he just violently kills demons because they raped the woman he loves, and now she's like, she's insane, and then he's on a quest for revenge, and he went into a cave, and these women getting raped by trolls, and she goes, "Oh, that sounds like a Michael show." And I go, "What the fuck is that? What is?" And I go, "She's right. Like she is right."
I mean, because it's fucking whacked out, but
it is pushed the
we like to push the limits
of normalcy.
I don't want to watch the same fucking plot line 100 times.
No, I like.
Except I'm a sucker for a nice rom-com.
I like those too.
Yeah, but like if I'm gonna I don't want like some boring horror movie. I want the whacked out shit. Like,
I like to walk to the edge and test myself. And
the fucking Last House on the Left. You know that?
Yeah.
I remember people kept telling me you got to watch it, and then that was that brutal rape scene where I had to look away, and then
I can't.
But then you know the revenge is coming for the rest of the movie, and it's like so satisfying. But then after that one, and then I watched the newer version of it, also great. And then I was like, any of those movies now, I'm like, I'm not going to sit through it.
No, I can't.
No matter, it's so satisfying at the end, but I can't sit through it anymore. But so that one always stood out to me. That Last House on the Left.
That one was one of the bad ones. It was
brutal, man.
There was.
But then you watched them get murdered.
I watched The Hills Have Eyes. And they're
That's
like,
a creepy one.
And it was like, all right, there's a bunch of hillbillies, but they're like, the hillbillies raped the women to breed. And I was like, I don't need that. I don't need the extra thing. Like, I think I'm tapped out of this anime I was watching because it was so.
Like I said, it's harder to watch than like a mass murder war.
It bothered me so fucking.
It's harder to fucking watch. It is.
And the next day, I was going to have my. This was last week, and I was going to do mushrooms because I needed I was
reset. Yeah.
I was having issues with anxiety. Like all my anxiety got to me, and I had like an anxiety attack. And I go, I need to do some mushrooms and just level myself.
Yeah.
And I watched that, and like I was like, this is not. Like, I'm not gearing.
I'm not taking mushrooms after watching that. You need like a couple of weeks.
I had to start off slow with just a gram. I couldn't. I wanted to do a full eighth, and I had to just gram my way in.
That's even too much for me.
Little by little.
That's even too much for me.
I'm not as good as I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be, all right, I'm taking the eighth and fucking, I'm going into dimensional.
Yeah.
Because my wife called me.
That's that like power reset. You make it through it and then you're like. Nice perspective change after.
That's what I
right?
wanted.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, what are you doing today? And I go, I'm going to eat some mushrooms. She goes, why? I go, I need to talk to God. And she goes, yeah, that happens. And then
It's nice that she's so used to
yeah,
you.
So I met my wife 2 days after coming out of the Amazon doing ayahuasca.
Uh-huh.
So our first date ever, I told her about how I had just seen God in the jungle. And it didn't push her away. So ever since then, she's been game for for a
Honestly,
certain
that's
amount.
a perfect start, right? Because she's getting like the rawest you.
She got me as the best I've
There's
ever
no
been.
like
I feel
you trying to pretend or you trying to act. I just had I talked to God. I had a fucking reset. If you know that she still wants to be pursuing it after that, you know you're good.
She also, so when she came to visit me, I was like, hey, let's do mushrooms. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you on mushrooms. It's gonna be great. We'll have a ball. And she's never done them. And I eat them, and she eats a little bit. She just has like a gram. And I go, I eat like 2 grams, 2.5 grams. And all of a sudden I start feeling funny. And I go, oh, I'm gonna have a bad trip. And within an hour, I was just puking my fucking guts out. Just puking everywhere. And she's just on the couch, just on her phone.
Did she eat some or not? She
had eaten some, but just a little bit.
Oh, so she's like probably chilling, just feeling kind of good.
But her
And
whole
then you're a fucking
experience
mess.
was me under a blanket, just
Way to fuck it up, Mike.
Yeah,
fuck that one up, man.
I ruined it so fucking bad.
Fucked it up.
And I've been scared about. I don't know what happened, but
How long ago was that?
this was in June. I can't. So I pretty much gotten off of everything. I still fuck with hallucinogens, but my ability to handle this stuff leading up to this has lessened so much. Like the last time I did Molly, dude, I thought I didn't have a good time. I
overcome too much, right?
I was at a theme park.
Maybe it's you're becoming a cheaper date for yourself. The tolerance goes down, more bang for your buck. That's all right.
I went back to the hotel and just went to bed because I got so. I made my brother.
Smalley Strong. Oh, I think. Did you tell me about this, or did you talk about this on one of the podcasts? I think
maybe
you told me
I went home and went to bed, and
That's fucking
and
funny.
all my friends were like, "What happened to you?" And I go, "Dude, I don't know. I think my mind just doesn't want to fucking."
I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I had some health stuff go on, and then I was told I had to stop drinking and everything.
Yeah.
So I did for a while, and then I kind of started creeping back in with some Casamigos. I noticed that clear tequila I could get away with.
Yeah.
And then, but I was noticing, even a few drinks or a little bit, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't recover. It was flaring things up. And then every time I'm like telling my girl, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this at all anymore. Even though I had gotten my health together with so much other stuff that I was like, well, I can get away with drinking a little here and there. And then now it's like, all of a sudden she goes the other day, she's like, you realize we haven't drank in I don't even know what she said, over 2 months, maybe 3 months, something.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah. And I'm like, we were going to just drink again on New Year's. I'm like, I don't even feel like drinking on New Year's. She's like, me neither. We're just going to go out to dinner. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like it. Like I get so much more done by not fucking with any of that. Not that I'm going to be sober, Cobra, anti-drug for life, but the urge has not been there at all.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a decision I made really, more than just I don't fucking feel like it. Like I like doing all the other shit I do, getting up in the morning and like being active and doing all the health shit that gets rid of all my chronic illness shit and all that. Like I like doing that. I enjoy it now.
Well, it's hard to do that.
So then it's like throwing a fucking wrench. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking 90% of the time I have to eat a certain way. I have a bunch of rituals I do, a bunch of stuff I do. And then how stupid is it to just fucking totally throw a big ass wrench in it every once in a while? And then I'm like resetting for a week. And then I've also noticed anytime I was even just drinking a little, I'm sick again. Every time. Drinking and whatever else, we'll keep it. Whatever else came with it.
The last time I did
infection, stuff, whatever. I'm like, geez, I don't get sick no more. I have a great immune system, and then I party one night, and then I'm fucking sick for a week. Whatever everyone else, is going around, I catch it. If I'm being good and I'm following my shit, I could be around people puking, all this shit going around. I don't get sick.
Last time I did coke, dude, straight to anxiety attack.
Fucking terrible, man. Why bother? It's terrible.
It used to be that stuff would alleviate or help me deal with or flow through, like hallucinogens especially. But now it's just
hallucinogens make more sense to me.
It's just
in a
teams
moderate
it up.
dose.
So with coke, it was I never had an issue with it, and then I was giving somebody a ride, and he's just like, did you want some? And I was like, all right, you know what? It's right there.
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
did it, and I went, oh, man, I should. Right away.
Yeah, then you just don't fucking feel good,
yeah,
right?
I just fucking. I was like, the best part is it's over quick. But I was like, that's the fastest.
Yeah,
way.
but you know, there's the lingering shittiness.
Yeah,
like, it's like, yeah.
But well, you were.
It's been good for a while.
You were straight edge for a long time, weren't you?
I went a couple times. I quit everything for like I think it was about 4 years both times. 4 years. Twice, and one of those times I was on tour a lot of the time too.
Yeah.
So I got very good at like drinking fucking soda waters and Red Bulls and going out to the bars and dancing, being around it, and being stone cold sober and having tons of fun. Like,
yeah, I can go.
the
out and
urge
do
isn't
that.
there, so I can still go out and have all the fun, and it's fine, you know.
Because our buddy John has told me many stories about him being out of control.
My John.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
we used to get real wild.
And
together,
he
real
told me
bad.
about he said he never understood how you would be there sober with him, and he would be absolutely fucking out of control.
Yeah, because like honestly, I'm already wired like that, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the edge all the time like that. Like I want like. None of that shit's that wild to me. It's I've reeled it in only to be free for my daughter, and because I don't want to be in prison. I want to be laying next to my hot girlfriend and cuddling and watching movies and playing with my dog and be there for my daughter. But morally and the way I'm wired, that stuff's fucking. I'm fine with all of it, and it's fine. Stone cold sober. Let's get nuts. I love it. You know. Mm-hmm. So I think I channel that into other stuff now. You know.
Yeah, I do the same thing where I do something ridiculously adventurous, like climb a mountain when I shouldn't.
Yeah,
or go into
exactly.
the jungle.
You just channel it in a more positive way. You're still getting your adrenaline rush. You're still conquering some shit. You're still getting a little risky and crazy, right?
Yeah, like
you do some crazy ass.
When outside of Medellin, I go to this park, and people have been like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna rob you there." Like I got the logos like, "Do not go off the trail." It's like I'm fucking going off the trails.
Go fuck yourself.
You know, and
of course. You ever me like, but it's me. I'm fine. I could do that.
Well, what I did
and
is
even if I get robbed, who fucking cares?
I didn't bring anything. I usually don't bring anything important for them to take.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, one time I take my girl. There's two guys walking down the trail, and I go, I look shady. So I pretend to tie my shoe and pick up a big rock, and I'm just holding it.
Yeah.
All the time, like, when they walk by, I go, hola, and I go, hola, and I was like, all right.
All right.
But it was like sometimes you see someone and you know,
Yeah.
there's you're doing something shady.
Yeah.
So I guess I find it that way. But
yeah,
it's
well, it's going to happen. I realize that on a tour, like wherever city we're in, they're like, that's the neighborhood you don't want to be at. That's where you don't go or don't, you know. That's where I'd end up by the end of the night, I'm there. Yeah. I'm in the fucking, you know, in the basement of some weird bar in Hamburg, Germany with the main hooligans that run the place. And it's, you know, every time I end up there. Sober or not.
That's what makes life exciting, though.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm wired like that, so I don't have to be drunk to go do some stupid shit. I fucking love it. It's fun.
You don't need to be messed up to have your great stories from the road.
Not at all, man. A lot of the funniest stuff. I couldn't even tell you sometimes if I was drunk or sober and a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think when I was chasing women, a lot of times I was sober, and I would put myself in ridiculous situations, or when I was trying to make money and I was sober, and I was like, dude, why did I walk into East New York to sell somebody coke?
Yeah.
Like, it was really, that was a really dumb idea. Like, that's just a murder capital of Brooklyn.
Yeah, like, you want to, like, I've gotten to this point where I want to, like, appease other people by acknowledging that it's dumb, but to me, it's still not that dumb. Like,
well, yeah, I felt like it was a calculated risk.
Fine. Yeah, I'm fine still, and, like, so what? What, you get jacked for it, you're out, whatever, a couple $100, whatever the fuck it is, whatever.
Everyone saw me, just thought that I was a cop because there was no white people there.
And they're not going to fuck with you.
Yeah, like, so I walked in on some guys doing a deal in the hallway of the building I was going into, and they just they saw me and were like, oh shit.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I remember heading up in the neighborhood in Puerto Rico where the guy starts... It was right, the neighborhood they told me earlier. They pointed, don't end up there tonight when you're out partying. And sure enough, I fucking end up there. And right away, gun in my face. And the guy's yelling in Spanish, policia, policia, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's how this fuck. Because they said anyone that's white, they think is a cop. They just want to kill you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you...
In this one neighborhood, I got to say, everywhere else all over Puerto Rico was like the friendliest place on earth.
Yeah.
It was block parties every night everywhere. Fucking awesome.
Was this one in San Juan under the walls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah, because we were up on that castle earlier in the day where we flies kites and shit. And our guy's like, I'm like, that looks like a cool area down there. And he's like, that's like the worst ghetto in Puerto Rico. Don't fucking go there. The white people aren't allowed there. And that's right where I fucking went.
I think they shot that music video Despacito there. I remember being on the wall and looking down, and I saw a bunch of chickens, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
The person I was with was like, do not go down there. I was like, during the day, I think I can get away during the day.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Oh, I was in there like 3 a.m.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah. I got myself out quite all right, though. I had some fun. I ended up partying with the guy for like half an hour.
How'd you talk your way out of it without speaking Spanish?
So he ended up, he spoke a little English, and he starts, I get out the car. I knew, like, I was scared, obviously, but I knew I couldn't fucking act scared.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is early 2000s, I was a little even more wild then. I'm like, dude, I'm covered in fucking gang tattoos. You think I'm a fucking cop? Fuck you. Like just kind of giving him the spiel. He goes, you're going to prove to me you're not policia or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, how's that? And he dumps out like a fucking gram on top of the car. Hands me the fucking thing. I'm like, okay. I go, hey, do you want me to prove to you I'm not a cop again? I might be a guy like trying to get He's like, you're funny, gringo, and starts fucking partying with me. I'm like, all right, we made friends. But I guess not the best way to make friends.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes those can be lifelong friends.
Yeah, that's true. Not that guy in particular, but I've got some similar friends.
Because I always try because I have to remind myself to be more open to meeting new people. Because when I used to get banged up, I'd be friendly with everyone.
Yeah, that was me too. And my girls like that. We would go out if we're drinking and like we're friends with the whole fucking bar within an hour, and we're at the after party, and it's fun until the next 2-3 days now because I'm getting old.
Yeah,
fucking 4-day hangovers and shit. It's like, what the fuck?
That was one of the reasons. Amongst the fact,
invincible, man.
I remember when I had that issue with the Molly. One of my buddies said to me, he goes, I heard him like, as I was walking back with my brother to the car, I heard one of my friends go, "What happened to him?" And I was like, because I was the one who could. Who would, if anyone put something in front of me, I was like, I'll fucking do this.
Yeah.
And then, I'm somewhere else for the rest of the night. Like mentally. There I'm having a ball, but I was, or I'd black out and I'd wake up in a rubber tub or someplace ridiculous.
Sidewalk in Germany I've woken up in a couple times. Floors in Austin was a big one for a while. I'm sure you've woken up on a floor in Austin before.
Oh, I thought you said Austin, Texas.
Austin, yeah. Austin, Brighton. I ended up out there.
I remember waking up.
The model and the silhouette right over there.
On a floor in Somerville.
Up there, and then I'd be waking up on some, like, what the fuck?
Like a girl took me back to bang, and it wasn't her house. She was just crashing with a bunch of friends. Mm-hmm. So, like, they came in. And I'm smashing a girl in someone else's bed, and she flips out, and the boyfriend was like, you gotta go. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, dude. I was like, hey, I didn't know. He's like, I don't fucking care. He was pretty cool about the whole thing. He just
wants his girl to cool the fuck down.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, you're just sleeping on the couch, and you brought that's audacious.
Yeah.
Because she also just expected me to be done in time by everyone else getting home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Or she was just so fucked up she wasn't thinking about none of that. She just wanted the D.
That's a possibility too.
Like, I'm going to get some D. Come on back. It's fine. Right? That's all right.
Threw me out the next day. And it was one of those where I walked outside and it was like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am. I don't know
those
how I
are
got
fun.
here.
Yeah.
I've
had plenty of those. Especially in the days, was it before you had cell phones that worked everywhere and all that? Like, it happened to me in Vancouver. I couldn't call anybody. Nothing.
How'd you get home?
I started wandering the neighborhood, and my guitarist had ended up at this girl's house too with me and partied like half the night and gotten back to wherever the hotel was we were at. But so I started just kind of walking. I'm like, all right, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I swear to God, the band van turns the corner. The guitarist that had been out partying with me was like, he was able to find the neighborhood. I think I know where Frankie is. And he guided them to the neighborhood, but he couldn't remember the house. So they're circling the neighborhood as I'm walking around the same neighborhood because he remembered good enough to get back there.
Yeah.
Because he left probably like 3, 4 a.m. and I stayed.
So, yeah,
So as I'm like, I'm fucked, I'm lost in Vancouver, I don't know what the fuck to do. Our van turns the corner, there they are. They found me. And I was like, oh, nice.
The pre-GPS days was something else. Cause
it's terrible.
I remember being a teenager and we used to go down to this movie theater in Randolph and we'd sneak in and then we'd just fucking trash the movie theater.
Yeah.
And we would specifically like eat food to make us fart.
Is it still that same theater?
Yeah, yeah.
Before it was all redone nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And we just fought. We would we would just wait for quiet parts and just rip ass in the movie theater. Just absolutely. It was a lot of times we'd be the only white kids there too. And we would just like wait, get a quiet pot and just and people would flip out. People would go and they'd come to throw us out. And they were like, where are your tickets? And we're like, oh, and then we'd be like, point to the guy down, whoever's down the end, and then fucking boot it and take off.
Yeah.
And
those old days, like you could sneak in places, you could do fun shit, and you're not on video, and everything's not on lockdown and on camera and digital, and
we would take an elevator from the first floor to the mezzanine, army crawl, because there was like a little wall there behind the wall,
like a wall along the floor.
Yeah, to get to another elevator to go down to the basement to watch a movie. And they finally one night they threw us out, and they knew who we were. They had it up with us, so they called the cops. And the security guard chased us, and I mean chased us for blocks and blocks into residential areas. And then the police showed up, and we ended up in like a ditch, and it's snowing out, and it's me and two of my friends, and one of us got away to the car, and the police are shining a light on us. And the snow is falling. I don't know how he can't see us, but he can't see us. And my friend just rips ass. Just like, it was silent, but it smelled.
You guys like pounding a gallon of milk before you went there?
It's Wendy's and nachos and cheese, and it smelled so, and he could have held it in, but it was so important to him to fuck us that he was willing to to have one of us like yell out or move away, and get arrested.
Well, like you're younger, it's like a fun adventure, right? That's what it really is. Like
was, and then we made it to the on ramp. We don't have phones.
Yeah,
and our friend just had to keep coming up and down the on ramp and the highway trying to find us.
Hoping you guys can find each other.
And we, at some point, he showed up on the fucking off ramp, and we pile in and get away. And it would have been so much easier today with a GPS, but it was the fun of being fucked and not having a way to get out.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It is fun. That's how when we started doing Europe, it was like that too. Like phones didn't work out there. They used to give us our tour passes. Would say if found dead or drunk, call, and it would have the tour manager's German phone number on it.
Really?
And that would be the big thing. Like just always have your tour pass on you, so somebody can call your tour manager if you're blacked out or whatever.
Did you get a tour manager for each separate country?
No, we'd usually have it'd be the place. The tour booking agency was based out of Berlin, and we would get an assigned guy out of there that was used to touring all those countries usually.
And his job was to.
And then we had a couple guys consistent that, after you're out there a few times, you're friends with your guys. You have a couple really good guys.
He'd keep you out of jail and at shows on time.
Sometimes,
relatively.
I mean, that was the guy. I think I told the story last time when we got arrested in Germany, and one of our best tour managers, but our bass player went to tell him we got arrested, and he answered the door in his underwear and his combat boots, and just handed our bass player all the band money, and he's like, Frankie and Brian are arrested. What do? We got, and he goes, tell those idiots we leave for the next city at 9 a.m. and handed him the money and didn't even go try to fucking help or bail us out or nothing. But luckily, our bass player was smart enough we were friends with the promoter of the club, and he dealt with it for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I don't know. I guess I didn't have to do any time for that besides the overnight. So
I mean, it is when I still go out to bars and stuff. Well, sometimes, if not often, but like if my friends get together, I'll go out like on a special night or whatever, and just to be with people. But at the same time, I don't. I'm good when I watch other people losing their shit or getting in trouble. Like it's nice to be a voyeur.
Yeah, you can control yourself a lot better. And then I call it an earlier night usually.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
When I'm not fucked up, when I'm sober, and I watch someone. So I've been off booze for 8 years now, and when there's a moment in the night where things
turns.
turn.
Yep.
And you can see it in people's faces where it starts
And it's
to make
usually
it
most
turn.
of the people at once.
It is. It always.
You'll see the whole bar like, okay, this is a shit show now.
It's like a women synchronizing their periods. It's as if everybody decides. There's like a moment in the night where, all right, we didn't get pussy. We might as well fight or break some shit or get arrested.
Yep.
And you can see it happen. And most of the easygoing people have left. The older people have left, and you go, oh. Mm-hmm. All right, and now I just
Here comes the shit show.
Now I just beat it, and I'm fine with that.
Home in bed, watching rom-coms.
Dude, I like doing gay
anime.
shit with my girlfriend.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
Me too. We do fine going out not drinking, but half the time, like, we'll be planning on going out. We're like, let's just fucking snuggle on the couch. Let's put on stupid Christmas outfits and take pictures. And I'm like, all right. And you know what that leads to, so that's way better than getting in trouble at a bar, too.
Me and my wife she's in Colombia, so we're watching shows at the exact same time.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, I just watched this show with her about it's an egg that talks. It's an anthropomorphic raw egg.
Okay.
And he's just a lazy egg. It just doesn't want to do anything.
How do you feel about the show? Are you into it?
I actually really like it. I just like how lazy this egg is. It's called Gudetama.
Okay.
And he goes with the flow.
It's a Colombian show?
It's a Japanese show. But he has the egg just has a giant butt, right? He's just the yolk, and he's just got this big fat butt, just these big butt cheeks, and it's really makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, like he's just, he's trying to find the chicken that laid him, and then he just runs for prime minister and wins. And then afterwards he's like, yeah, fuck this. And he's like, I don't want to do the work.
I think she saw that was fucking crazy and was like, oh, Michael loves this. And then she got you into it.
I picked it.
Okay.
She wouldn't, dude, she's just going to watch the Gilmore Girls if I don't come along.
Oh,
so
you know what mine got me into 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
I was friends with her before I was with her. And why do you watch this stupid? These people are stupid. This shit. These people are all fucking nuts. And now here I am. I'm like every Sunday night, like, oh, new 90 Day Fiancé. Fucking.
I brought it up to my girl about applying for it.
Oh yeah.
She goes, how much money do they make? And I looked into it.
Yeah. What do they do?
Dude, they only get like a couple grand.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you get like nothing. You just have to.
Here's what's obvious to me about those shows. I figured they must make more because it's pretty obvious that whenever things are going good between the couples, the producers pull whichever one is more volatile aside and be like, this is a good time to bring up this thing that you guys always fight about. It's very clear that it's the producers doing this. So they're basically taking these relationships that might do pretty well and sabotaging them to have the drama on camera. Yeah. And I'm thinking like, they must be getting paid really fucking well to tolerate this shit.
No. So they get paid shit. But what happens is the hope is that you get a following and you can be like Big Ed, the neck dude.
Yeah. And then you get paid for promotions, marketing, whatever. You could come out with a product. I got her a cameo for Christmas.
Yeah. From
like our favorite couple from 90 Day Fiancé.
That's what you do.
Kenny and Armando.
You have to build up a social media following.
Yeah.
And from there, you can take off with it.
Yeah.
That's how it is with most of these shows, is you have to use it to leapfrog.
You know how much that show must be pulling in on advertising, and then they don't pay those people much. That's fucking nuts.
No, that's entertainment, though.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean,
that's I feel like that's...
Unless you're like Bruce Springsteen or Taylor Swift, it's the same thing in the music business, right? I can go play a fucking sold-out show, and the club hands me, and then they make a killing at the bar, and they hand me like $200, and I'm hoping I did good on merch. And it's like, you guys just made a fucking killing. What the fuck?
Yeah, stand up too.
I think,
that's why I was telling Jeff I don't do as many shows as I used to, because I got sick and tired of them just not giving me a decent.
Yeah. Well, that's why what I do now, they try to like I have a lot of bars I love playing, and they do like, I build my way up to them paying me what I want. Mm-hmm. I say, let me do one and show you at a discounted rate and show you, because I bring out a lot of people that want to drink and have a good time. They don't cause problems. They tip well, and then it goes well, and then they'll start wanting me back. But they'll want me back. Oh, we should make this monthly. And I'm like, no, because I want it to be, for me, it's not about getting that payday, because I've given up on that. It's I want that environment of like, no one's seen me play in a while. They're actually looking forward to it. Last time was a big fun event. And it's going to be that way again. You start playing the same thing every 2 weeks, you're just fucking old news. You get played out. And then they're also not going to want to pay you the money anyway, because you're not bringing the same draw. So you got to so for me, it's really just when I feel like doing it and I feel like there's something in the air like it's going to be fun again. And it works every time. Last time we had Gavigan come play with me too. And I could tell, this is going to be the biggest one. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge part, And it was. It was like, it was great. And
that's how I'm very specific about
I do it because I want
stuff.
to. I'm not like going to go out there and just, I'll do this to make some money.
And I have way more fun doing it.
I wait till I want to do it. Yeah. And it's like, and once I'm feeling like a caged animal, I need to go play again. I go play.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed it, like we were saying with the reality TV shows, is I look into it and they usually get paid nothing, even though they rake in the money.
Yeah.
But they just find people that are desperate because I don't know if I can apply because technically we're already
did
married.
they at least cover all the fees for
they cover your wedding and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they're fucking up early. It's so obvious. The producers are getting so involved and fucking up. I mean, some of those relationships are fucked anyway, but you could tell. I'll be watching like, these two are having a good day, and all of a sudden one of them decides magically to talk about some random thing that they fight about.
Yeah, my buddy did one of these dating shows.
They're filling them with alcohol and they're fucking convincing them.
And he said they would like, they were in a house on an island, and the producers would write to them on TV or call them on a phone or. And things they kept being like, as soon as they woke up, the producers were like, "Hey, there's the liquor." The liquor would always be out for them.
Let's get this fucking party going.
And, if things were going good, they'd call the girl and be like, "Hey, did you ask him about what happened with his ex-girlfriend?" And she goes, "What did happen with your ex-girlfriend?" And then immediately.
But I think, and then they also learn they get more screen time, they get more attention, they get a bigger name when they go along with that. Yeah, so that even if the girl sees like, they're just trying to get me fired up for the air, for the drama, but if I give them that drama, I get more fucking airtime, screen time. I'm a bigger name. I get more deals or whatever. Like, and so they just fucking go right along with it. I think like the first season they're getting tricked, and after that they go right along with it.
No, they go along with it because like I said, you need the social media. What's fun is so. I know you know of this show because I've talked about it on this show before, but have you ever seen Love on the Spectrum, the autistic dating show?
Dude. I'm sitting in my car alone listening to your episode about that. I texted you.
Yeah.
I was fucking laughing so hard I had to pull over just because of you, how hard you were laughing. And just the way I was like, dude, fucking laughing out loud by myself.
So
in my car
one of the guys, and this was my favorite guy. So this guy is from Boston, right? He's from the Boston area. And he's like... Dude's really autistic. Like, he's deep in the spectrum, right? And I love this dude.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing that people don't realize. Like, I mean, I got a lot of very close loved ones on the spectrum, and it's like a lot of times, like, we're watching it endearingly, but some people are so uptight about everything they think you're being a prick. Like, no, you fucking love these people.
No, I love him because of how honest he is.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome how
he
honest
doesn't have that bullshit that we put in our heads where we're afraid of saying the wrong thing or not being who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So he just does it. And I follow him on Instagram. He makes a post like every fucking day.
Fucking awesome.
And he's got these big glasses and this curly hair, and he's got like a stutter. And he goes, I just open up Instagram. The first video comes up, and he goes, "I think prostitution should be legal. Here's why." And
that's my man, now think about it.
And he's right.
Is he wrong?
He's right. He's right.
It's just that most guys are too fucking afraid to say it, and they're too like programmed. He ain't programmed by society. He's like, no, this is what makes sense. He's just fucking straight up.
He was right. He was completely right. It should be legal. I'm on board.
Absolutely.
Right? I think it's better for everyone. Everywhere where I've traveled.
But he's not thinking, geez, people are going to come at me online. I'm going to get... No, he just gets to just do it.
And they did come at him online.
Yeah, he probably doesn't give a shit.
He didn't give a care.
He goes, nope, you're wrong, right?
Next day, he makes a video. And like I said, I open up Instagram, and it's usual goofy memes and political shit. Anything, or big tits, they're trying to feed me. And his video comes up, and he just goes... I've always wondered if being a superhero gives you super muscles and strength, would being a superwoman hero mean that your vagina has extremely strong muscles? And I go, I never fucking thought of that. I never thought.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman, right? Yeah. Well, it's gotta be true. It's a muscle.
Like if you fuck She-Hulk, I imagine she grips better than a regular woman.
I mean, it might be the end of that. You might, I've been known to say rip my fucking dick off, but that might really happen. She-Hulk could probably do it.
But it is what I love so much about his account is that he's not doing it.
He's not trying to stir nobody up. He's not trying to create a personality.
He's not even doing it to get
real.
followers.
Yeah.
He's just doing it because he's realized he has followers, and he's like, I just want to ask questions and say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And it works. He's
yeah,
up to
it
like
works.
300,000 followers.
Oh, that's awesome.
And even when people go,
I'm going to follow him. You got to give me the
I'm going to send you
info
stuff.
after. Yeah, I got to follow
sometimes someone will be like, I don't think this is appropriate. And he just goes, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just fucking-
Think about it, dude. I honestly, as funny as it is, I strive to be like that.
Yeah.
I've learned that more and more as I get older to be like someone wants to fight me online or disagree. And I go, yeah, that's fine. Disagree. Right? That's really like...
I notice I'm
the
not
simplicity
doing well.
of it is actually really correct.
I notice when I'm in a bad mental state if I fight with them. That's my...
Yeah.
That's my...
Sometimes I do it for fun, and then I start taking it serious.
Yeah.
And then you look at yourself, you're like, I'm a fucking douchebag right now.
I'm a fucking
Like,
worst.
look at it, yeah.
I'm arguing with a dude whose profile pic is a frog banana. Like it's
That's usually someone you don't have a real picture of themselves.
Yeah, they don't.
They're literally there to fuck with you, and they're having the time of their lives, and you're getting fired
and they
up.
love
It's
it.
like,
It's
they got
and
me.
I'm trying to
They
get the
got
last
me.
word in, or I'm trying to. You know
Yeah.
what I've realized is, so this taught me not. I'm watching this girl, and she made some video. She made fun of Greece, right? And all the Greeks are coming in like, fucking bitch, fuck you, bitch, I fuck your ass. And, and fuck your ass.
They just reinforced their own negative stereotype there, didn't they? Or positive, depending on how you look at it.
She just said, when she was coming back at them, they would write these long diatribes or like you said, fuck your ass. And she would just write, thanks for coming to the page. Follow for more. Thanks for coming.
Fuck yeah.
And it was so
What's
trolly.
the thing? All news is good news, whatever the fucking saying is, right?
It was so fucking trolly
Exposure
that
is
it was
exposure.
good. And I've realized that when someone writes you like a fucking essay, you just write back like, yeah, I'm not reading that shit, fucking loser.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'd be like, your mom sucks farts. You don't have this.
You don't have you don't have to subscribe to whatever fucking level they're trying to be on. You just
The
do
more
it.
effort you don't give it, the angrier they get. Like it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I had a guy in London threatening to come to Boston and drag me through the streets or something fucking. And he was like writing all these things and bragging about his, black belt and his fucking degree. Like, I'm like, dude, well, I don't even remember what the fuck we're arguing about. Like, you're a nerd in England. You're going to come on to Boston. Like, look how fired up you are. This isn't real life.
Yeah.
But yeah, you leave it at like, okay, buddy. Yep. All right.
Well,
And they get more mad though. They get more fired up.
Sometimes I just write back, yeah, I'm not reading that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I just write, I'm not
sure,
reading.
I'm honest. I'm sure I've done that also. Like,
I just go,
like, no,
I'm not reading
that's
that.
too much.
Homo.
Yeah. It's,
Just write TLDR.
Yeah.
Didn't read.
Too long to
is that
read.
like a known thing? Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Meme, too long.
TLDR.
There's nothing that makes someone who's invested in something more mad than when you just
Then when you don't give a fuck. But you know what? You shouldn't give a fuck.
No.
Like.
No, I delete social media for chunks of time, or I take it off my phone if I think I'm spending too much time on it.
Yeah.
If I notice something, because it's good. I'm gonna be honest. Instagram's good at knowing what I'll invest in.
Oh, it's the algorithms, man.
It's
they know
really
everything.
And they show the video, and it's like, when you see a reel, before you even click on it, it shows the row reels, and I see someone about to hit someone, and I go, oh, don't fucking do it. Don't.
Yeah, you click.
I'm like, I want to fucking.
Yeah, I click on that street fight. Should be like, none of these fucking pussies know how to fight. But I'm like, they got me. They got me. They got me. But if you click on the stuff, the cool stuff, the positive stuff, you're gonna get more of that too.
I have to be good
You know?
because what I'll
Click on pretty girls and click on like people doing whatever
Yeah.
like my hobby right now. I train a lot of kickboxing and Muay Thai and stuff. I click on the instructional videos I see if it seems like a good coach, or I click on like clips of the best fighters fighting in the real fights, and then they're going to give me more of that. And then obviously you click on some pretty girls, so you have nice views in your feed, and then I click on the bands I like or something. And then other than that, I try not to give in anymore.
Dude, I really try, and it's still.
But they get you with the ads too.
It
They're at the point
tries
with
to.
the advertising. They like the weirdest shit where I'm like, I would love to have that every fucking time.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
They've read me really well.
I bet they have some fucking. Who does the ads right in this feed? Both of them, right? Instagram and Facebook?
They all do it. Instagram and Facebook. They're owned by Facebook. They're owned by Meta. It's the same thing. I try. So when I delete my social
I'm looking
media.
for my ads. How do you get. Right away. The first ad, washed up local trucker hat. I love that.
That's a
perfect.
good hat.
I'd wear
I do
on
like
stage.
that. I do like that
They
fucking
fucking
hat.
know. Strip club veteran is the next one. You know, like they just they figure out real fucking.
No, they figured me out. They know what I'll invest my time in.
Yeah.
So I delete the apps until I want to post something. But then
But dude, you're doing isn't that like a marketing thing for you? Like you kind of have to have a social presence if you're looking to get people to listen, or.
So what I'll do is when I want to post something, I'll re-download them for a period of time, and I'll post my stuff, and then kind of dip out again.
Yeah.
Because when I'm supposed to be meditating or dealing with shit, when life gets to me, and I feel my anxiety creeping up, I get on my phone. And I need to just
You
sit
should be doing
there.
the opposite.
I need to just sit there and deal with whatever's pissing me off.
What do you do do you do an actual ritual or anything for meditating or taking time, or do you just kind of sit there and think on
I'll
the couch?
sit there and just with no silence, no technology, and deal with whatever gets in my head.
Yeah.
Until I eventually wrestle it away.
Yeah.
Or come to a conclusion or put myself in the right place. But I'll be going to bed and then I delete all my apps and I go, I guess I'll go on Telegram, right?
What's Telegram? That's a new one.
It's like WhatsApp, but it's a lot worse. Like you can follow pages. So I follow LiveLeak. Do you remember what LiveLeak was?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I should be going to bed and I'm just watching.
Oh, I do that all the time.
I'm watching a compilation of Chinese workplace accidents, and why am I? And I go.
Yeah, sometimes those workplace things are pretty fun to watch. That shit's crazy.
It just says, it's like.
But then you know what that turns into for me at night.
Yeah.
Geez, how am I going to fall asleep? Well, I got this fucking computer in my hand where I can look up any kind of porn in the world.
Well, yeah, that's what it leads to too.
Yeah, every time.
But with I'll be like, oh, I should be sleeping, and then before I can see the video, I see with the subtitle, and it just goes, man gets crushed by forklift, and I go, I guess I'm gonna watch this, I go,
Dude,
don't watch it. I
got
don't
you.
watch it, and I'm just like, it might be different, and it usually is. It's something different. It's like man gets crushed by forklift that falls off 2-story building. I go, well, I haven't seen.
It is like Looney Tunes. Good call.
And the Chinese ones are. So what I found is I don't have to watch the full-on dying videos. They made a cartoon version of all these Chinese workplace accidents. But
They
it's
just cartoon the real thing, so you don't have to actually see it.
Yeah, because they cartooned it
Is that
to
any
show
better? What's
awful is sometimes I'll see it.
That's weird.
So they made it in China to show at workplaces to be like, hey.
Oh, okay, like instructional safety
Yeah, they're
thing.
instructional safety videos. But sometimes I'll see one and I go, I kind of want to see what happened in real life here. Because sometimes it'll just be like a guy who's, he's just holding a saw with 2 hands and he goes to take his cigarette and the saw comes down, takes his leg off, and I go, I wonder what it's like in the real thing, huh? And it's fucking.
Isn't that's kind of with our job? That's a little scary to watch too. I guess you need a healthy little dose to stay safe and alert, but a little too much is gonna freeze you up.
Too much of any gore porn is just horrible for you.
Yeah, it's gonna freeze you right up.
It desensitizes you. Because like I said, I'm trying to be a mellower person.
Yeah,
because I genuinely like it.
You just need those other channels, like those crazy ass hikes where it's still like a challenge. I was listening to the episode where you did that. One of the hikes, I can't remember.
I might have been the volcano thing with my girl.
But you had your girl, and you had to go across that little fucking ledge.
Yeah.
And you had to help her across that. Shit was like smushed down or something.
Oh, dude, that's like when you snort coke and you're like, maybe it's fentanyl, and you don't even fucking know.
Yeah,
that was like a safer version.
Exactly.
Of if it
Plus,
was
it's like if you die doing that, it's like motherfucker fell off this like crazy mountain in Ecuador or whatever. Like that's pretty badass. The way to go, at least, instead of like fentanyl and the coke.
It's a
like
better
every fucking other person we know that has died in the last.
It's
10
a better
years.
obituary, is what it is.
Yeah. But I can respect that. I'd rather have a cooler obituary than die to accidental fentanyl overdose.
I never thought this would happen, but my wife calls me. She's like, "You're a hippie." I go,
Me too,
"What?"
man. Yeah.
I go, "How did I?" And she
Crunchy
goes,
granola. You're gonna have those weird
Jesus
Jerusalem cruiser sandals.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have those leather sandals?
I'm
we
not
can't be
there
friends.
yet, but I have
Don't do it.
Crocs.
I do. I wore Crocs. I just put these on for the show, the Adidas.
My fucking wife makes fun of me for wearing Crocs.
Dude.
You
gotta like.
I have to defend myself.
I don't advocate domestic abuse, but maybe like, a little spanking or something. She's got to learn something.
Not with a close fist.
You don't disrespect the Crocs. We've come too far in society to be disrespecting the apex of comfort.
They are amazing.
You got to get the slides, the Croc slides.
What are those?
Like the flip-flops the flip-flop Crocs.
Yeah.
I'll show you in my car when we go to leave. I got like 3 or 4 pairs of them.
I never thought I'd be this way because she goes, so she doesn't get along with her dad, and she goes, I always was afraid I'd be with a guy who reminds me of my dad. She goes, do you like my fucking mother? You talk to me about, like, when I talk to you about stuff, you're like, whatever, God's going to fix it. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, you're going to talk to God, hallucinogens, hiking. She's like, you're always talking about spirituality and how it's going to work out. Yeah.
I go, it is going to fucking work out,
I hope so. I hope you're right.
And
you were going on some spiel like that on some episode I was listening to, and it was like, at the time I needed to hear it, and it was actually really good.
It makes me feel better.
It's fucking good to give people hope like that, and give yourself hope like that. Well, and when people start feeling they need a change or something, and they don't know if they can do it or if they should do it, someone should be saying that shit. So it's a good thing. She's glad. Yeah,
no, I know she is. Otherwise, she wouldn't be with me.
Yeah.
But I never thought where I'd be in this situation where, I don't know, I don't know. For a long time, I just thought I'd be dead by 30.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
30 came and I didn't die, and I go, what do I fucking do now?
Yeah.
And now I do all the stuff that I used to call gay.
Yeah.
It's so much fucking fun than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah. I get you, dude. Rom-coms, we went out and watched all the did like Christmas lights at some church.
Yeah.
Like all that kind of stuff. It's awesome.
Did you ever think you'd get here?
No.
No? I didn't either.
No, but I'm ready to like step it up in another way too.
Yeah, there's other, well, you still fight. You do combat sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I still need that. I need something. But to me, that's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to train hard and work hard, and I get to have that outlet. And now when someone acts like a douchebag to me at the bar, I'm like, I just feel bad for them. And I'm like, no, I don't need to do this. I don't need to get in trouble. I get to let it out at the gym or,
Yeah.
And it's helpful, Plus it just, it sets your mind right too. Like we have an urge to do that, like adrenaline rush shit, and you can get that even just from a sparring session, you know? Every time I'm in that gym, I'm trying to get a couple of rounds just to get a little bit of that. Even if you're going real light, a little bit of that rush is nice. And then it keeps you don't have to go look for it elsewhere unintentionally, like getting in some real trouble.
Does martial arts pick up where heavy weightlifting or powerlifting was before? Because you don't powerlift exactly like you used to, do you?
No, I don't. I've had, I don't even remember when I got most of my injuries, but I think I've gotten a ton of injuries since I last came on the podcast.
Yeah.
And that was like right when I was kind of stopping powerlifting, I think, too. Mm-hmm. And no, I don't do the powerlifting. I take the principles I learned in how to stay explosively strong and I like apply them in my training. But yeah, I guess you could say it picks up where it left off, except I've always had a passion for it. I was doing like karate and kickboxing at 5. I was a junior high school wrestler, and I would always dabble in it. But then I got so far into the music and touring, I couldn't stay consistent.
Yeah.
And then I just happened to be like into the powerlifting more when it was time to apply myself to something else. Mm-hmm. But I still always loved the combat sports, and I always loved it, and so sooner, and I'd still be training it a little, and I'd hover, but I was like, but I just want to get really fucking big and strong and do some crazy shit with some big weights, and then I always kind of knew I was going to go back to it.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of fighters, from what I've noticed, mm-hmm. when people are into fighting as a sport, mm-hmm. they fight less in real life.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You get that out of your system, and you don't feel that urge. You don't get like pent up,
Yeah.
You get it out.
So he's like, all right, I get to wrestle you in the mat in jiu-jitsu. I don't have to punch.
And then
I don't have to punch some guy in this
man,
bar.
like you fall in love with the sport, and you are like at my gym. I feel like I'm part of a fucking team and a crew and a community. And if I go out and I get myself in trouble, I just made my team look bad, mm-hmm. right? Maybe I can't be there to help a guy prepare for his next fight. So now it's like a responsibility now too. Mm-hmm. That's good, you know. And I don't get to be as consistent even as I want to be because of our fucking job, our other job. But I get in there as much as I can. But yeah, I definitely like it. It's like positivity feeds positivity, right? A body motion stays in motion.
Well, it's you know what's funny is so your episode was one of a lot of people. It was one of their favorites, and a lot of people who are into music and stuff found what I put up on YouTube.
Yeah,
I put up our episode, and so many of the comments were all like, "Wow, I thought Frankie was going to be a total asshole." It was just I'll send you the page.
I'm glad they don't think I'm an asshole. That's
no,
good to
they
hear.
were like, "Oh wow, I saw Frankie in the hardcore scene. And I just thought he was a fucking monster."
Yeah,
and
that makes me feel really good. It does. It's so. Right, like that's kind of one of the things we try to do when we like release anything out in the world. You want to give a better representation of what's going on, right, and what you're thinking. So,
well, yeah, it was like also when you, I don't know, we all go through phases when we're young too. I don't think anyone's at their best when they're fucking 22.
Oh yeah,
25.
I was quite an asshole for a while, you know, like I was.
Yeah, I
was like insecure and unreasonable and. All kinds of things.
Oh, God, when I was fucking insecure, I was such a narcissist.
Well, that's when you act the fucking worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole time you're just trying to prove some shit to yourself or whatever. And yeah. So, like, they probably thought that because they probably saw me when I really was a fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, just don't hold me to that one time and space, right?
Yeah, we're all
You're supposed to be developing as a person all the time.
Well, you got to be.
Which,
better.
by the way, that episode was my divorce judge's.
Oh, I'm glad you.
You're famous in the courts now.
Can you mention that?
I told you that, right?
You did, but I don't know if you said we could talk about it on the show.
I get, yeah. There's something about not talking about posting on social media about the parameters of the divorce. I guess whatever. But I could certainly talk about that a little. So basically, my ex-wife was trying. She was abusive, and she had a mental illness. And I don't say that judgingly. It's sad. It sucks. And it was a bit of a downward spiral. And I wasn't good enough to help her, you know, like, and that's part of it too. Like, everyone owns their own shit. But so we end up in court, and her and her lawyer are just on this tear to prove that I'm a terrible person and I'm not this good person that I'm trying to present, and I'm not this innocent person. And they finally go, her lawyer goes, "Well, weren't you interviewed in a podcast recently?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she didn't have the name in front of her yet. Like, she was disorganized. So I knew it. I go, I get interviewed in a lot of podcasts. You know, I'm a musician. I've toured around a lot. Sure. I've done a bunch of interviews. What one are you talking about? And she goes, "Well, you were talking about this and that." And I go, whoa. What podcast is it? And she goes, "Oh, it's," and she gets the name. She just says your name. She's like, Mike Bain. I go, what's the full name of that podcast? And she goes, "Get Your Act Together with Mike Bain." And I'm like, I start laughing at her. I go, "Yeah, like the whole point of the show is you talk about how shitty you were, how you didn't have your act together." And I told stories about admitting how I didn't have my act together, and now I'm trying to do that. I still don't, but I'm way better.
Yeah, you don't have,
right?
You don't
but
have
the
a
whole
act together.
fucking courthouse starts laughing at the lawyer. It was just perfect. The name's Get Your Act Together, and she's trying to point out how I was telling all these terrible stories. And then, I think I called you right after that.
Yeah, you sent me the message, and I was like, "Oh man, we're taking it to a next level."
Yeah, you're in the courthouse in Brockton.
When the podcast gets brought up in court.
Brockton Probate Court, baby. You're famous.
Intro video for your show.
Well, hey, I guess it's like, hey, feel free to say what you got to say on Mike Bain's podcast, because it's all in the past. We're improving ourselves.
Yeah,
the judge didn't care.
This is the show to talk about the mistakes you've made and how you won't make them again.
Hopefully. Yeah.
But it was ideally but I remember you said that, and I go, "This is the greatest endorsement for my show ever."
Yeah,
is that it was used against someone in a courtroom in a divorce proceeding.
Yeah. But the best part was when she said the title, because she kept saying, he's telling these stories about beating people up or whatever the hell and this and that, and then I'm like, "What's the show called?" And when she said that, I already knew. I was like, "Oh, this is great. Everyone's going to laugh at this fucking lady." And they did. Even the judge was trying to not laugh in her face. So, yeah, get your act together. We're telling stories. Yeah. But that was fun.
I remember that. I'm glad because it's we made it there. I've had that with a few guests where, well, not in a courtroom, but where
hey, we might be in the courtroom again now for me talking about. But honestly, at this point, I don't give a shit. Cause
I won't.
The truth is the truth, man. I'm not gonna hold it back.
I won't put that where everyone see it. It'll be in the podcast.
No, put it right. Dude.
It's going on my story.
I'll just tell you this too. The funniest thing was throughout all the whatever was going on, I'm not going to bore everyone with any details, but throughout the separation and the problems and whatever, I kept it off social media. You know, I wasn't talking shit. I wasn't making those anti-narcissist posts. You know, I just minded my own fucking business. I confided in a couple close friends, and I got through it and I worked through it. And she was posting shit every day, crazy this and that, and then I'd hear anyone I run into a friend, your ex-wife is saying this and this and this. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. And then she wanted to have this stipulation in the final agreement that I could not post on social media about the divorce. And I'm thinking like, it was a year-long thing. And I'm like, in this whole year, I have not posted about it. And you've posted every single fucking day. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
So that's it's kind of like, even my lawyer is like, it's a joke. You know, it's... So
you're good. You're through.
Yeah.
Right. We'll defend you. I've got a legal team here.
Yeah, it's called Get Your Act Together. I made the mistake now. I'll be better next month. The Mike Bean legal team. I can't wait.
Do you think you'll get married again?
I can't. See, Big Frank.
Yeah.
My father. When I showed up and I told him I was getting divorced for a second time.
Yeah.
His first thing he said was, Frankie, if you try to get married a third time, I'm going to show up and I'm going to shoot you right in the fucking face. So I'm not allowed to get divorced again as long as Big Frank's around, and he's like the Terminator. He's still working at 72 years old, you know. So I can't.
I don't even. I don't even think it's always necessary. I mean, I don't know if I would be getting married if it wasn't for immigration.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. It does make sense for you because if you know you want to be together long term.
Yeah.
It's like they're almost going to make it impossible for you to be together unless you do that.
I have to get married.
Yeah, you have to. And then they make that pretty hard from what I understand too, though.
No, it's insane. I'm going through it right now, and
it's a whole lengthy thing.
It'd be so easy just to sneak her in.
Are you going to try to get citizenship down there too? Is that a thing?
I want to get both. I want to get
both.
both.
You could both have dual eventually, right?
Yeah, I want to.
That's what makes fucking sense to me. I mean, you guys have been together a long time. There's plenty of fucking evidence it's a real relationship. It shouldn't really be.
Dude, you know what my wife did to me? She told me that in Colombia, it's called a yellow card. We have a green card here. It's called a yellow card there, which I thought was funny because in soccer, there's a yellow card.
Yeah, yellow card. It's at a penalty, right?
Yeah.
Or a warning or something.
She fucking lied to me. She just did.
She was fucking with you.
Yeah, but she never told me she was fucking with me. So for a year at least, I've told people that I'm going to get my yellow card. I've said it to Colombians and I've said it to Americans. And it's not true. It's not a thing.
Have you now considered that your wife may be like Andy Kaufman level comic genius and she's just...
No, she just got lazy and forgot. She has a pothead memory even though she doesn't smoke weed. I love my wife, but she can be
You're
like...
fired up now. I don't think so. I think she's like Andy Kaufman reborn, man.
She can be like a goldfish and she can forget something right after she does it. And she told me that. And she doesn't remember telling me. That's what, because if she had masterminded this, I'd be like.
So she's like stoned one day. It was like, oh, it'd be so funny if I told him it was a yellow card, and then totally forgot she did it.
Dude, she doesn't even smoke. So I say she has a pothead memory because.
But without smoking.
Without smoking.
Oh, that's kind of like me, but from brain damage.
From CTE.
Yeah.
Well, actually.
So of course I get into a sport where I get punched and kicked in the head all the time again. That's.
I have that too, because I've had a multitude of concussions.
Yeah,
I've had.
Didn't you get smashed with a brick or something one time?
I've smashed my face on the sidewalk many a times.
Yeah,
I've had. I'm trying to think. I went hiking with Tom Hale, and I smashed my head off a rock like I was just standing up as we were climbing a mountain. I didn't realize there was like a cliff ledge above me, and just. And then it made me start. He took a picture of me. You concussed
yourself? Did you like?
Yeah. He took a picture of me just bleeding, was just fat and sweaty. I was really out of shape. And he used it for his backyard concert flyer. I'll send it to you. It's
were you happy or mad? I think you were happy.
I actually was happy.
Awesome.
I liked it.
Yeah, Tom's awesome.
It was a really bad picture of me, but it was fun.
Yeah, because it's like, come to my concert. Here's a dude with his head split open.
It was really punk rock.
Yeah, right? Yeah, or comedy. There you go. You tell them to send it on back.
But I started thinking about my amount of concussions, and I went, I really got to start taking something for my brain.
Yeah.
Because I've been knocked out a bunch.
I've tried a few things they've said to take, and I don't notice nothing from that. I tried the lion's mane and all that stuff, and none of it seemed to make a difference yet. What made a way bigger difference is cutting out processed foods, fried foods, bullshit sugars.
That'll be the biggest one.
And drinking.
Yeah.
That's what really clears it up a little.
Well,
excessive amounts of caffeine is helpful.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it is, but I say it is.
It is.
I can't quit the energy drinks. I'm fighting.
Dude, you know what I said, dude? If that's our worst vice, well, that and the adrenaline and the need to be near death a lot, falling off cliffs and getting fucking kicked in the liver. But at least we're not fucking. Maybe it's not that much better now that I say it out loud.
I said that to another comedian when I was at a show and I was going through these caffeine headaches, and he goes, "You're right," and I go, "I just get the worst headache," and he goes, "What's wrong?" And I go, "I'm just quitting coffee," and he goes, "Why?
No, don't quit.
You don't do any other." He's like, "You don't do drugs."
It's your one vice, man. Do you have high blood pressure?
No.
Who fucking cares? Then it's fine, right? I don't know. That's how I'm not a doctor, obviously.
Well, you know what? I'm trying to quit the energy
it.
drinks and just stick to coffee, but it's not the same.
I've cut back from 6 shots of espresso in the morning to 4.
Yeah.
But I still have my mega pre-workout before I work out, and I eat a couple caffeine pills throughout the day too. But to me, that's a huge fucking improvement.
You take pre-workout that's been banned in China,
in America. Yeah, that pre-ban shit's the good shit, man. It's fucking good.
You use pre-workout the way people use
coffee.
You use rifles made before the 1992 assault weapons.
I'm old school, man. Well, you hear if you're on you're on lifting forums, the guys talk about the old original no exploder, the old orange. That's the shit. I get that shit. That ingredient. It's just way more fun.
I have some of those.
Like I said, it's your only vice is it's banned in sport, but it's legal to purchase and take. It's not I'm fucking blasting rails,
Yeah.
So it's I'm going to take it before I lift, and I'm going to be fucking amped up because I worked a 22-hour day the day before, and I want to have some energy, and I want to enjoy my workout,
I used to use the old black diamonds. I'd get
those are fucking awesome.
I'd get them at this GNC.
I have a bottle of them.
Where the guy was...
They're too strong for me now.
The guy was clearly just roided out.
Yeah.
It was just veins popping out, and I went...
He's doing 30 milligrams of Cialis a day to fucking get the blood...
This was before I was lifting. I go, if I was weightlifting, I wanted juice. I know exactly which GNC I'd come to, and I just go, oh,
I know what the guy you're talking about. Because he works at a couple around here in Massachusetts. Right?
Yeah, it's in Mass.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it was the North.
There's
a
pro bodybuilder guy that I think he's a manager, and I've seen him at a couple different ones.
And I go, oh, do you have? I'm looking for ephedrine or something. I just want to lose weight. Can you give me a pill that makes me lose weight? And he goes, well, I kind of have something, but it's not supposed to be sold anymore. And he pulls out the black diamonds.
Dude, those are fucking awesome.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to, and I kept taking them too. Cause
I scored a bottle a couple months ago, and I took one on my way to just go to at my regular lifting gym, there's also a boxing room. I'll do some bag work and stuff. So I was I'll take one of these, do some bag work, and then maybe some whatever lift. And I'm starting the bag work, I'm having a fucking anxiety attack. I was that's saying something. If it's too fucking strong for me, it's fucking strong. Those things were strong. But when I used to take those to work out every time, but I was, for competing in high level powerlifting, and I was only sleeping 2 hours a night because I was working so much. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would take to wake up and go squat 1,000 pounds, 900 pounds. Work bouncing at it. I was in a warehouse all day, bounce at the strip club all night, go sleep 2 hours, wake up and go train powerlifting, take one of those black diamonds, and I'd get through the workout. Lucky to be fucking alive.
Most people, in a lot of places, sleep deprivation is used as a torture.
Well, I ended up hospitalized.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm driving home from the strip club one night, and it was so 6 nights a week I'd get 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and then the 7th night I could potentially have gotten a full night's sleep, but I really didn't see my daughter enough, so I would only sleep about 4 or 5 hours so I could hang with her all day before I went and bounced at the strip club again at night. So I'm driving home from the strip club one night, and it's raining, and like, dude, I was taking pre-workout, making like coffee so thick no one could even drink it at the club, and just pounding it all night, and fucking taking pre-workout pills, pre-workout everything just to get through it. I'm driving home, and this motherfucker is on the edge of the highway and tries to run right out in front of me and kill himself in front of my car as I'm driving down the highway.
Really?
And I swerve and I almost fucking crash or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck was that? 2 miles down the road, I see the same motherfucker, and he tries to do the same thing, and I go, holy shit, I'm fucking hallucinating. Like, I'm totally hallucinating this.
Yeah.
And I drove myself right to the emergency room. I said, I'm fucking hallucinating. And they check my levels. They put me in. They're like, you're severely, like, sleep deprived. All your shit's off. Your hormones, your, bunch of words I don't understand, levels.
Yeah.
I was all fucked up. So they put me in there. They like basically put me, not in a medically induced coma, but close enough. They put me out and just pumped me full of fluids and shit. And they were like, you have to start sleeping.
My memory card's full.
All right.
It's about an hour and a half right now. You can
Oh,
keep
damn.
talking.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just warming up.
Yeah, no, we'll keep doing audio. We just won't worry about video.
All right.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it was nuts. So that's when I was with my first wife, and I said, I need to start taking like every other night off at the strip club. Still working every day at the warehouse, but I was like, I gotta start taking every other night off.
Yeah, you're just having fights with people at the strip club who aren't even there.
Yes.
No,
those people were there. But yeah, I knew. I shit you not, it was like as clear as day. This motherfucker tried to. Like you would have sworn it was real. That's how clear I saw it.
Yeah.
And then it happened again, and I knew. I was like, no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, unless I'm in the Matrix, this isn't happening.
No. So yeah.
I've
drove right to the emergency room. I'm fucking. I had been, there'd been other things leading up where I could tell things were wrong.
Things were off.
But that was it. That was like, I never tripped like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was the biggest hallucination that was the realest, most feeling hallucination I've ever seen in my life. And it was like, what the fuck? It was scary.
Oh, I've never had one that bad. I know if I feel something, if I need to sleep and get my shit together, if I start seeing stuff out of the corner of my eyes.
The shadow people.
Yeah, the shadow people.
Oh, yeah,
I get them a lot.
Yeah.
The worst is when I get them.
Well, we got to do in our line of work too, like because we just don't sleep a lot sometimes.
If I get them in the woods, then it's fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, because it could be a coyote or something. Too.
Yeah, or there's something.
Or in New Hampshire, it could be
something
anything.
by the window.
Yeah.
And I just. What is it?
Yeah, see, we even get the paranoia without the fucking.
Yeah, without.
We don't need the drugs, man. We get all the fun, paranoia, adrenaline rush, everything everywhere else.
No, I've been happy without them because if I go on a bachelor party and I see how people get at it, and I just go, dude, I don't want anything to do with this. It's just it gets too much.
You can show up and you have your fun, and then you get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I went to the last bachelor party I went to. I just done ayahuasca for the second time, and I'm just sitting in the pool, just meditating, just staring off. And dude, my friends are just crushing fucking mountains of fucking blow. And you don't want any. You just fucking.
And also, when you're sober, you're probably thinking, "Geez, that's a lot of work hours."
Oh,
that you're blowing right now. That's a lot of money, unless you're the fucking one that brought.
Well, that's what I do. Is I go, oh, that's a lot of money. Yeah. But also, here's the thing: is like. The financial aspect is a good motivation for me because if I was ever to do it with people, they'd be like, hey, once you're in on the bag, you're in on the bag. We got to split it fully. It's like imagine you go out to a restaurant and everyone goes, we split the bill, and the guy next to you gets steak and lobster and you're just sitting there with fucking chicken fingers and you go, this doesn't work out. That was my issue with splitting a bag with people.
Yeah.
Was three lines in.
Going, let's get another 8 ball.
Yeah, 3 lines in, I'm out. And then you get somebody who's got a Pinocchio fucking nose who does like those half-gram lines.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't keep up with you. I can't keep up with this.
Yeah, fuck that shit, man. Why I had hit the point in my health where the doctor was like, they thought I had pancreatic cancer potentially for a while. I had to go to cancer. I didn't. But markers were showing up and stuff, but they couldn't find anything. So they're like, oh, it's autoimmune and this and that. But regardless, on top of all these other problems going on, they were like, yeah, you can't ever drink again. They did tell me that. Yeah. But they also were telling me no real solutions, no real way to help. There's coming blood test, another ultrasound, another MRI, another whatever the cat, fucking over and over with no actual progress. That's where I started being like, well, how about I got to cut out the foods that make it act up.
Yeah.
And then I got to figure out what else helps. Like the steam room helps, the cold plunge helps. like I put together this whole regimen, and all of a sudden I realized all my chronic illnesses I'd had since I was younger, symptoms gone.
Yeah.
You know, I've had the worst kind of asthma you could have since I was 5. I've been whatever the highest preventative medicine you could be on of that year is. I've been on it at the highest dose every year of my life. I've torn through those rescue inhalers quicker than any insurance company will cover them.
Yeah.
I've had to pay out of pocket because I just couldn't breathe. Then by 19, there's something like chronic bronchitis. Not just people get seasonal bronchitis. They don't really like when you get diagnosed with chronic bronchitis. If you Google it right now, 50% of people don't live 5 years after that.
Yeah.
I got that at like 19 or 20.
Oh shit.
And then I don't carry an inhaler with me anymore. I'm not on a preventative.
So what
Just by, I think this pancreas thing was like the final thing that just told my body, like, it's all this inflammation, it's all this poison they put in everything. And not to get into like being a conspiracy hippie guy, but
No, this is the right podcast for that.
We've
already established we're hippies.
Yeah,
now,
like it's like I start trying to eat to not make my pancreas feel like it's going to explode, and all of a sudden, like, I have a bad thing in my esophagus. All of a sudden, that's feeling better. All of a sudden, my breathing's feeling better. All of a sudden, it's like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, my old injuries and joint pain's feeling better. I have arthritis. I have Lyme disease. I've been hospitalized for. That's feeling better, like chronic Lyme, just by. It's a combination of things, but the biggest one was cutting out a lot of the fucking garbage foods that are hard to avoid everywhere we go.
I've noticed it. So when I get stressed out really bad and I'm eating poorly, which happens when I work too much.
Well, and the stress in and of itself is a fucking killer too.
I'll get like a rash. I get skin problems.
Yeah, it's a physical manifestation of the.
Yeah, oh yeah. When I was with my ex, I used to get like muscle pains in my. I physically got a pain in my fucking neck.
Well, people don't realize stress
because I wanted to be out of my relationship.
One of the strongest hormones in your body is what stress releases, and that is physically affecting your body in a million negative ways. You know, cortisol, yeah.
So,
but the way hormones work, once one thing's off, everything goes out of balance. Everything's fucked up.
I've noticed it when I travel too. So when I go, when my wife visited me, she spent months losing. Like she got a little belly. She can get self-conscious about it. It's a good thing she doesn't listen to my fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Because, but I don't care. You know,
no real men give like.
Yeah, I don't. As long as she's happy and healthy. Yeah. Like within like if she got out of control.
Well, you know what I tell my girl? It's like. You just got to be happy. I want her to feel good about herself. She's not like I'm with a girlfriend now that I've been with for some time now. We live together and all that, and she's awesome. And it's that. It's like every way you've looked since we've been together, I've been so attracted to you. You look awesome, but you need to feel good about yourself. That's what it is. So if you need to lose your tummy, if she needs to lose her tummy for herself, then sure, lose her tummy. But
then that's incentive. But she spent some months losing it. She visited me here in the U.S. This was her second time ever being in the U.S.
Yeah.
Within a week of eating American food, it came back.
Dude, it's fucking
1 week.
Poison. It's poison, man. It is.
I notice it when I go to Colombia. I get really bad, like just bloating and gas for 2 days.
Yeah.
And then I'm fine again.
Yeah.
And I can eat.
I think that might be just different lands have different bacteria, natural bacteria in the food.
Part of it.
Because that would happen to me like out on tour too, where it's like I know this food's good. It's just a different type of natural bacteria and occurring things that are coming from the ground. You know,
the stuff in the food here is definitely real. It's designed to keep you fat and sick.
Every now and then, I did it for Christmas. I was like, I'm going to just say fuck it for one meal. I did it for Thanksgiving. Dude, I tried to do it on Thanksgiving. I ate a few things I shouldn't or never would eat nowadays.
Yeah.
I had got a migraine headache. Felt like I was getting stabbed in the stomach. Had to use an inhaler. And then I had to go nap. We did Thanksgiving at my girlfriend's brother's brewery up in Portland, Maine. I had to go nap in the closet for an hour, like nap off. Like, dude, how shitty I felt. I felt like I was fucking dying, and then I didn't feel right for like 2 days. It's like, because I wasn't used to that poison anymore, my body was just like, get it the fuck out of here.
I took 3 shits today because it's the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And I went off.
Well, I kind of did it. Yeah, I kind of did it yesterday, too. I did it just a little, and that was bad enough to be like, I don't feel good. It's crazy. Like, when you don't put it in your body for a while, and then you put it in a little, and you notice what it really does to you.
Oh, and
when you're not actually addicted to the fucking shit they put in it and process it, you know.
So I went to that chicken place, and I was like, I never thought I'd be eating buckets of coleslaw because they wanted to give me fries.
Yeah.
I don't eat French fries anymore.
Yeah, probably makes you feel fucking terrible, right?
Yeah. So I'm just eating a bucket of coleslaw with chicken.
Yeah.
And the chicken's not the best, but it is at least just chicken. It's just meat. I'm not eating. For me, I avoid bread as much as I can.
Yeah,
now.
fuck yeah.
Bread and pasta.
I've noticed, like, if I do want bread here and there, a sourdough, like from the bakery,
Sourdough
rye or
is what I
sourdough,
switched to, 'cause
here or there is I feel fine when I eat that.
I
But
watched-
like from the bakery,
yeah.
like the real deal stuff.
I watched a documentary on people, Life to 100 on Netflix, and he noticed that the breads that people eat are missing certain ingredients, and sourdough is one of the best ones
Yeah.
for your system. If you're going to eat a bread.
Yeah, it has like a like good bacteria, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I read that after the fact, though. I gave in. It was rye bread, actually. I gave in and ate a Reuben sandwich. I fucking love them. I was like, I'm eating the bread. Fuck it. And I didn't get sick. And I was like, huh. And I looked it up, and they said rye and sourdough is good for your gut health or something. If it's the real shit, if it's the natural real.
I got to send you this guy's Instagram and online book. He's like a Nigerian British dude who was in London, and he was a former Olympic bodybuilder. And so now he just promotes not eating processed food.
Yeah.
So his whole Instagram is just him just going to other food accounts and be like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah.
Don't eat this shit.
Yeah.
It's just shit.
I'm telling you, it's fucking it's unreal, the difference I feel. Along with some other stuff, like steam room is huge.
Yeah, I started doing...
And then in a lot of old cultures, in the East and stuff, that's like their normal everyday shit. They have like the community steam room and cold plunge, and families go there.
Finns do that all the time.
Yeah, and it's normal, and then they're healthier. And then people act like we're crazy here for doing it,
Yeah, well, that's what I noticed. Like when you're trying to find alternatives to get fucked up, because when you invite people out to do stuff, I found out that in like Sweden, especially Finland, especially, people just on a Friday night, they're like, dude, let's go to fucking sauna. Yeah. I wish.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That sounds great to me. I wish people would hit me up, or I could reasonably hit people up and go, hey, you want to go to the sauna? Like, what are you going to fuck my ass? And
No,
I'm
dude.
like-
I want to hit up now. I guess there's like the Russian bathhouses are supposed to be fucking awesome. I think there's one in Somerville.
Really?
Or Chelsea or something. So I hear that's like the mega steam, and then they'll have like jacuzzi. They have different levels of heat.
Yeah.
And then there's like a cold plunge tub too that you can jump in.
I went to a place in Ecuador. It was called baños, which means
Yeah, that's
baths.
the banyas.
And it was
It's the same word in Russia too.
the
banyas.
It was just these thermal spas that you could go for. I don't know, for $2. You go there and just sit there all night, and everyone in town went.
Yeah,
Which is what everyone did. You just go
fucking
sit
awesome.
in the spa.
Chill out. Yeah, chill out in the steam or whatever. I'm in. Hit me up. I'll do it.
Have you noticed your shit's got progressively better once you started eating better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing that got me going was like the stomach health problems that I was having. So that was like a big time thing now. Like eating a lot of fermented foods is big too.
Like what?
So what's the fucking fermented cabbage? What's it called there? They put it on the Reubens.
Oh,
Not cool. You know what I'm talking about. Sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Sauerkraut, kefir or kefir, no matter which way I pronounce that one, someone corrects me. So it's kefir or kefir, that stuff. It's fermented grains. I get that from a farm in raw whole milk. And
you're doing the raw milk?
Yeah.
How is it?
Awesome.
I got to get some raw
Tastes
milk.
better. I'll tell you where the spot is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like more kombucha, fermented tea is. I drink a fermented tea every morning. Every morning, sometimes another one later in the day. It's just like it's your body needs that shit, and it's fighting. It's like re-energizing your body and bringing up all the good bacteria to kill off all the bad shit.
My buddy, he's a comedian, he's been on the show, Alex Giampapa. He's a raw milk guy, and he went full carnivore. Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, I'm fucking
loving
doing
it.
Great.
Yeah,
He went-
raw milk.
Yeah.
When I started reading into it, like lactose intolerance.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of lactose intolerant people can't have raw whole milk. The real problem is the pasteurization process kills off the digestive enzyme that you're supposed to be taking with the lactose.
Yeah.
You kill that and the lactose is still there, and then you go and you drink that boiled off fake milk bullshit that they've ruined, and you get sick, you get allergic to it.
They take all the nutrients out.
It's
Sometimes
like you need food in its whole the way nature provides it to you. And you're going to be fine usually.
For the most, usually you'd be fine if you just eat shit the way it was meant to be without doing extra steps to
you're
it.
At least, I mean, there's obviously illnesses exist and genetic defects and problems and chronic stuff is real, but still, you start eating that way and eating better and eating your fermented foods and cutting out the garbage, you're going to feel way better regardless. It's not going to cure an illness, but it's certainly going to make the symptoms go way the fuck down.
How long did it take for you to feel better after you changed your diet? Was it almost immediate or did it take a little time?
Well, I had hit a point where I felt like I was going to fucking die.
Yeah.
The way the pancreas was and then some other stuff.
Did you get pancreatitis? Did you have a swollen pancreas?
Yeah, it's chronic pancreatitis.
That hurts. I've had pancreatitis before.
They said it might be autoimmune pancreatitis, but either way, it's chronic pancreatitis. But then they were finding markers for pancreatic cancer, but not finding anything in there when they would scan it. And the blood levels were, basically what happened was after like 6 months of this bullshit, going to this doctor, that doctor, cancer doctor, blood doctor, scans, I started eating like this and I started slowly feeling human again and not feeling like I was going to die. I cut it down to like fruit and nuts. Mm-hmm. And then I slowly started reintroducing things. And I started dropping weight, not being bloated. And then by the time I went to the doctor for blood tests like a month later, they were like, everything looks great. How do you feel? I go, I feel great. And they were like, just keep doing what you're doing. And I just never went to the doctor again. So I never really got a full diagnosis. So I guess for a while I felt weak because I was almost like starving because I had to figure out what I could eat without getting sick. But I was taking in a lot of nuts and fruits, a little bit of grilled chicken and stuff. And then I was afraid to have fats for a while because pancreas fat. What I realized is like naturally occurring fats, raw whole milk and raw whole butter and fat in steak. None of that bothers me either.
Fats, I'm super into. I'm a pro fat guy.
Yeah.
So if someone gives me yogurt, no fat, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
No. Oh, that's another one I have. Greek yogurt all the time.
Yeah, I love Greek yogurt, but it's got to have the fat in it.
Yeah, whole. Well, I get either the whole Greek yogurt.
That's what I get.
Or at the farm where I get the raw whole milk, they have raw whole milk yogurt, which is like the same thing.
I lost weight eating whole milk, with the fat, Greek yogurt with fruit, usually blueberries, raspberries, and honey every morning.
That's what and that's
sugar.
what I live off.
That's sugar, and I lost weight eating that shit.
Well, because it's fruit. Yeah, it's like fruit and honey is a different thing. Me too.
It's real sugar.
I say like I avoid sugar, but I eat tons of berries, tons of bananas, tons of raw local honey, tons of it.
The autoimmune diseases are linked to
inflammation,
processed food, inflammation. Because my mom has several, and I can't get her to eat well. She's from the
I think the problem is the lack of understanding of how much that can. You say like, hey, you got to eat better, and they don't realize what a big difference they make. They think there's got to be a surgery or some super medicine because that's how we're treated nowadays and growing up. But really, that's the biggest thing is fucking be healthy and cut out that garbage food is bigger than any medicine they're going to give you. Well, but I started feeling like I wasn't going to die pretty quick, and then I started feeling fucking awesome, shortly after.
Yeah, there's also sometimes people become so set that they don't understand that sometimes you gotta give stuff up for, like my mom she'll call me and she'll be like, oh man, I was in I shit so much today in the toilet. We have these conversations, mother and son.
Yeah, of course.
She'll use code words like, oh, I had the squibbles all day today. And I go,
squibbles.
I go, does that mean you were shitting? She's like, yeah. And I go,
my daughter used to call it splatter poop.
Splatter poop?
Splatter poops.
And I go,
squibbles is great.
What were you eating, Ma? And she's like, I just had some pepperoni pizza. And I go,
it's like the worst fucking thing.
Do you ever think to not eating that maybe the pepperoni pizza is making you shit?
Yeah.
Could be, I was like, yes, it is. There's no other.
Yeah. No, that's so obvious.
There's no.
But the way we grew up in America, it's like, but it's pizza. It's such a normal food. What the fuck? One of the biggest detriments to me getting healthy, number one, was when I was drinking beer. Because I could never get healthy. I was drinking beer. But number two was when I had to be like, oh, I don't get to eat pizza. Yeah.
I don't eat pizza anymore.
Do cauliflower pizza sometimes, all right.
Yeah.
I get away with it. Or I do, I get these Joseph's oat bran wraps, and I use that as the dough. It's like a low-carb fucking little thin wrap. And then I just put raw whole milk cheddar cheese from the farm on there with some spaghetti sauce, which for me, like red sauce fucks up my stomach usually too. But as long as I'm like behaving overall, I get away with that for pizza.
I missed 3 nights of sleep this week due to acid reflux.
Dude. Well, that was another one, man. I got
What happened
sleep
to us, man?
apnea. I've got sleep apnea, and I had the GERD so bad, the gastroesophageal reflux. I'd wake up choking on my own bile, and then it would trigger an asthma attack.
Yeah.
Every night. That was happening for years. I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah. It's
But again, that's pretty much gone. Just
now
from
that you're off the stuff. It's
that's it, just from cutting that shit out, having some fermented foods, getting in the fucking steam room. It doesn't happen. Like rarely. You know, I had heartburn last night after Christmas because I was a dickhead. You know.
Yeah.
Fasting helps me a lot. Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, intermittent fasting's great.
There's too much poison.
I kind of do like this half-ass fasting pretty often if I start feeling like I'm a little inflamed overall. I'll do like 16 hours of actual fasting, but sometimes I'll just spend a few days. I only eat minimal amounts of very safe food. So like when I finally get a little hungry, I have some nuts and berries and I'm good for a few more hours. I'm still hungry. You know, more nuts and berries, maybe half a banana. So I'm like keeping it really low and really clean and safe for a few days. And that like resets me for sure. And then I feel fucking great. Oh yeah, definitely.
How long do you go for, Jeff? What's you like a?
Most I've gone is 2.5 days.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I can reliably do 24 hours though.
Yeah, I went for a while doing 24 hours once a week. I never went over 24, 25 hours. So.
I think
Do you get
at
sluggish?
least once a month, I feel like everyone should do 24
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
But maybe at my best, usually like once every 2 weeks, a 24-hour one. I'm in the
Yeah, that sounds about right. I haven't done it in a little bit, but
good reset.
I don't get sluggish. I get a little,
No, if anything, the opposite.
yeah, you get an energy boost because your body starts reacting. You got to remember where we came from, like hunters, gatherers, like we're not used to being able to feast on all this shit throughout the day. You're out moving and hunting. So if you're out and active, you know, for me, like I'm not going to eat before the gym. I usually don't eat till at least 3, 4 in the afternoon. I don't even consider that fasting. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're on the hunt all day. Your body starts giving you little shots of, I don't know what it is, if it's adrenaline or whatever, but you start feeling energetic and fired up.
Way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to get through the hunger.
Get through that first, like, it's the first, like, 6 hours or so.
Yeah.
You're fine.
And then you get used to that. You don't even feel the hunger.
That weightlifter bodybuilder I was telling you about who talks about processed foods. He did over a week of fasting, and he was going to the gym every day weightlifting.
Yeah, see, that's the only side effect I've had is if I go train, I get a little lightheaded and stuff. But you just got to be conscious of it, you know? Don't try to squat 900 pounds if you haven't eaten in 2 days, you know?
Isn't that where the fun is?
I mean, I'm not saying I might try to do that, but I wouldn't advocate it, you know?
It's good to stay active if you're going to do it. Though.
Yeah, I think...
You want your body to, like, focus on burning the shit, not the muscle.
I think it's just, honestly, it's like, if you look at it on a very basic common sense level, it's what your body's built to do. Keep the food out of your body while you're looking for food, but don't just fucking sit around with a bunch of food in your house and try to like, and you're going to think about how you're hungry and this and that. Go out and do shit and be active and make yourself feel good. Fucking, I take the dog for a run. Sometimes I train the fighting twice a day and lift. I'll go do an extra steep. Like, just go do shit. You don't even think about being hungry. All of a sudden, it's 9, 10 at night. You're like, holy shit, I should probably eat some protein. I was in the gym for 4 hours today.
Yeah, forgetting to eat is a good feeling.
Yeah.
When I've had times where
But when I
go,
eat,
I
like,
didn't eat.
I'll prepare a bunch of really good food that I know doesn't fuck me up, and I'll feast at the end of the night. It'll put me to fucking bed, and I feel great. And I still get stronger, and I still perform well, and all that.
It's funny. A lot. So I remember being a kid and you having dudes who were into like harder versions of metal or rock give me a hard time for listening to pop punk.
Yeah.
Or like pussy rock bands.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of those dudes who there's one still give me shit. And like I was like, every dude I know is in metal. I'm like you can't give me shit being a pussy for the music I listen to, because now I'll just be like, yeah, I like Coldplay. Like, what are you, a pussy? And I go,
yeah, we're grown ups. You like what you fucking like.
I go,
man.
dude.
Like, what are they, still 13 years old?
I go, dude, You have acid reflux if you eat a cheese pizza and your knees hurt. Like
Yeah.
that's every dude I know.
Yeah, get real with yourself,
I'm like,
man.
come on, what are you still holding on to? Like,
You're not a fucking Viking metal warrior god.
Yes.
When you, just because you put Manowar on the radio and grow your hair long. Granted, I fucking love Manowar. But,
Yeah.
And I feel like I am when I do it, but I know I'm not. I'm just some fucking 42-year-old asshole stagehand, you know? Like,
But it happens to, like, I feel like that's a natural process where people live it. They're like, oh man, like they have that warrior mentality, but they can't bend over.
Well, you're living so comfortable.
A
lot of them,
there's such a relief in just going, yeah, I like this stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like whatever I like without that. Because for years, I wouldn't tell people if I like certain stuff.
Yeah, see, I used to I would admit it, but I would do it in like a combative way. Like, yeah, what's like almost like the irony of it or whatever. I thought it was funny to upset people with liking things like that. Mm-hmm. One of the big ones now is Taylor Swift. I fucking love Taylor Swift.
You like Taylor
People
Swift?
get fucking mad.
You like
about
T Swift?
it. I fucking love her.
I
Have
get
you worked
like
one of
her.
her shows?
Yeah, she's a good singer.
Fucking awesome. Her shows are awesome. She'll play out in the rain extra long if it's raining. Like, she's kind of got a punk rock vibe to me, man. She puts it out there.
Dude, I like bluegrass.
Oh, bluegrass is amazing.
Just jam. I listen to 2 channels in my car. I either listen to Chill. It's called the Chill channel.
All right.
And it's just like electronic chill music, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I'll get in the car and I'm just like, oh, fucking, I'm mad, whatever. And I just put on the radio and just fucking, and all I hear is, boo.
Is that like a Pandora thing or like
XM?
Okay.
It's just like music. Right. Dude, it's like elevator or spa music. And you can't be angry when you're listening to it. Like, no matter, I'll be, sometimes I want to be righteous in my anger.
Yeah.
And it just naturally drifts away. Or I listen to bluegrass.
You know what's also a good one? Miles Davis for that.
Yeah.
For that chill out. Miles Davis, the Kind of Blue album. You can't not be like, you start floating, having a good time, feeling happy.
Classical music
yourself.
too.
Yep. I leave my radio on classical.
Yeah.
Like my good old FM. I don't even know if it's on FM or AM. But one day I found a station that was classical, I leave it. So if I'm not plugging my phone in, that's what's on. Anytime I get in my car.
Because I remember growing up in the city, I was like, oh, bluegrass is for fucking dudes.
Dude, bluegrass is fucking awesome.
Yeah, cousins. And then I listen, I go, this is fucking awesome.
You know where it came from?
It came from like Irish, and it's called Irish music.
It was the Irish indentured servants that a lot of them became miners, and then the freed African slaves. It's a combination of traditional African and Irish music.
Yeah.
That's where bluegrass originated from, was those cultures getting together and becoming, the hardest working class in American history. And working these hard, death-defying jobs, but they're going, at least we're not slaves, at least we're not indentured servants, and they go and they live in the fucking woods away from all these assholes, and that was the music they came up with.
You'd be surprised how good a fucking banjo sounds. Like,
Dude, I have banjo on the song you use as an intro.
That's right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people shit on that as an instrument. Banjo's a good fucking instrument.
When someone's shredding the fucking banjo, it's as good as heavy metal to me, man. That's fucking awesome.
Well, when I was young, I was much better than most people in that I was already an outsider and got made fun of. So but sometimes when someone would ask me what I like, I'd lie. I'd lie about what music or movies I watch.
Yeah.
To try and
avoid the confrontation or the hassle or whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with what you got to say about it.
It's such a relief to just be like, yeah, I like this other thing.
Yeah.
And what the fuck of it?
Yeah.
I'm an adult. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you? It's just like when I go place with my wife, she's just like, "Are you gonna wear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna fucking wear this." She's just, I could take my shirt off. Take my shirt off a lot.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And she's just like, "Are you just walking around outside with no shirt on?" I go, "Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't have abs. Yeah, I got a fucking belly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I fucking care.
Fucking grown man.
We crossed the line though.
And now
Well, yeah,
you do uprigging too. Now you can really be like, there's fucking not too many people in this world that can do the job that you can do. So they really need to shut the fuck up. If they want to make it about manliness or balls,
dude,
they ain't doing it.
I took my cousins, they're just, they like 7 and 10, 8 or 9, something like that. And one of them just turned 10. The other one is 7 or 8. And I took them hiking with me. Right at the start of the trail, I take my shirt off. And the youngest one, the girl, is 7. She goes, "Can we not do this?" And I go, what do you, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I'm going hiking. She's like, "Yeah, but why is your shirt off? What if we see people?" I go, then we deal with it. But I was like, oh,
Well, we have our shirts off at the beach, at the pool.
I'm your embarrassing uncle.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
That's fucking fun, though, isn't it?
Well,
I'm the embarrassing crazy uncle, too. I love it. You got to embrace it.
Those were my favorite uncles as a kid.
Hell yeah.
Were my uncles that just completely didn't give a fuck.
They're the most fun.
And I go, oh, I'm going to be that motherfucker that embarrasses you in front of your friends.
Yeah.
Like that's me. And I actually.
And guess what? If you ever have kids, you get to do that to the kids.
I
too.
want to do that to my kids.
Oh, you'll do it.
Like it's what I want them to have friends over, and then I want to embarrass them.
I do it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah. And Patsy's on my daughter's name's Patsy. She's on the FaceTime with the video with the kids. I get right on that fucking phone, picking my nose, fucking acting like an asshole. Maybe I'll just whatever stupid shit I can think of.
I was over my cousins and her kids are there. I Christmas caroled to her neighbors. Right next door, and I Christmas caroled.
That's awesome.
And her daughter's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm going to go introduce myself to the neighbors and sing Christmas songs to them.
Uh-huh.
They're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. This is what we're doing.
I put on, because the kids want to wear their crop tops now and the short shorts.
Yeah.
I cut some jeans into some short shorts, got a pink tank top, cut it in half, had my girlfriend do a photo shoot with me, and then I posted it up on Snapchat because all her little friends talk on Snapchat, so all her friends would see my Snapchat. Because I told her, you're going to go out like that with the short shorts on and your belly out, your dad's going to do that too.
I'm going to do the same.
Just fine, do it. I'd want to see that. Boom. Did a photo shoot next day. She kind of likes it now. First she was embarrassed, but now she thinks it's funny.
Now it's backfiring because now you have to do it.
I'll just think of something else to embarrass her. It's never going to end. It's never going to end.
I get it. I get it now because like my father would ruthlessly embarrass me.
Uh-huh.
So when I was like pre-puberty, I was terrified of women. I was terrified of women even after puberty. But just my dad
They're terrifying creatures.
My dad we'd pass by a group of girls and he'd go, hey girls, this is my son Mike. And he would introduce me. He would try and like.
Was he trying to get you to conquer the fear?
Yeah, he
or
was.
he just straight
but
up
he was also took glee in seeing how terrified I was.
Yeah. All right.
Like playing catch, he'd throw the ball next to a group of girls and I'd have to get it. And then he'd scream something at me right when I was picking up the ball. You know?
Sounds like normal boy stuff.
Yeah, it's good because I tell my girl about stuff. So this Christmas, my uncle was someone had a dog over the house and he was on the balcony upstairs, and he lifted his leg and he pissed through the balcony. It hit my uncle in his head, and when he just came over to hug me to leave, and the dog pisses on his head down his back.
I think that's good luck, right?
And I physically fell down laughing, and I told my wife, and she goes, that's mean. And I go, what? I go, that's what I'm having a hard time explaining to her that being mean to people is funny. Like
you know what? I think a lot of that is a Massachusetts thing more than anywhere else. There's like a hidden language there where that's affectionate. And a lot of people don't get that anywhere else.
It's gotten me in trouble in my relationship with my wife a few times.
Yeah. Where
she thinks I'm genuinely being mean, and I go,
that like hard pan dry sarcasm or whatever, or just straight mean. But we know a lot. I really think that's a regional thing because when I was traveling around, it was like nowhere else was like that.
It's endearing to other people though when they see you act that way.
Yeah.
Well, it's
comment on that.
if I see someone like so I remember being a kid, and my dad and I are driving. It's raining out. And we're in Dorchester, and we passed Savin Hill. We passed by a group of kids. He swerves into a puddle. Fucking
that's
soaks
awesome.
them. I mean, destroys them. And they're
that's
just
a classic fucking move.
They just got out of BC High. They're walking to the train, and he swoops around.
BC High, they're all dressed all nice and everything.
They had their uniforms and their books.
Man.
Hits the puddle again, drenches them again. And I remember telling my girl, and she's like, but that's mean. I go, and that's what makes it funny.
That was kind of a game. Like, you knew that as a kid walking down the street, like that someone's going to try to hit that puddle. Like,
I had someone
that happen to me.
To work.
Yeah, that was kind of a known game that everyone kind of played, I thought, as we were growing up.
Keep you on your toes. People are too comfortable.
No, I thought that was pretty widely accepted when I was a kid.
Well,
I thought it was.
Here, I think it is.
Yeah.
But also, I try to explain to her that sometimes things are funny because they're mean, right? Like I tell her,
Hell yeah.
like I have a friend and his name is Stutter, because he has a fucking stutter.
Yeah.
And she goes, it's like the same thing. She goes, isn't that mean? I go, yeah, we love him, but he fucking stutters. He can't talk.
Yeah, what's that got to do with loving him? Yeah, that's it.
So, but like I'll watch comedies or I'll explain something my friends did to me or something I did to my friends.
Yeah.
And like I once, two of my friends were living together, so I was walking home from work at the convention center, and their house was on the way home, and I picked up a rock and put it on the hood of one of their cars. And it started a week-long fight of one of them blaming the other one.
That's awesome.
And you know, like 3 months later, I finally just tell him. She goes, "Why would you do that?" And I go, "Because it's funny. Because it's like it's funny. Their hardship is funny
it's
to
very
me.
funny.
It's like watching somebody have something go wrong for them.
And it's like it's an inconvenience. You're not like shooting them in the kneecap. Yeah, it's an inconvenience. So it's funny to watch them all get fired up over the little shit. It is.
One of my friends recently filled my sunscreen with mayo. Right? And
fucking awesome.
And it like, and I went to the beach and I started putting it on. And she goes, "Why?"
Nasty.
It was terrible. I fucking squirted all over him.
The hot mayo in the sun on your skin.
But I was more mad that as a ginger.
Oh yeah, because that's like oil.
I could sunburn. It thankfully happened right around sunset, so I was good. But I have to give him credit. It was a good fucking joke.
Oh, that's fucking that's brilliant.
It was.
Those are the best when you know you're not even be able to see.
Yeah, but even if he wasn't there, just knowing.
So he had somebody like Uber Eats deliver like the mayo. It was on a bachelor party. I remember somebody showed up at the house just to deliver a single thing of mayo, and he was like, "Oh, I fucked up the order. I must have done it when I was drunk."
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
And I go, "You paid like $30 extra just to have someone deliver mayo so you could prank me with mayo?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "Is it worth it?" He's like, "Yeah."
I fucking respect that very much. That's brilliant. Did it smell like right? You noticed right away, right? You were like,
I put it on. I gooped it all over my face, and then I smelled, and I went, "Oh, you fucking cunt!" Because he had been.
I wanted a sandwich for some reason.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that's a good move.
But I don't know if people from outside of this area.
I don't think so.
I know people prank, but to do messed up shit to your friends,
I think we take it on another level.
Yeah.
Around here, I do. Because I remember when we first started touring, even just the way we all talk to each other and act toward each other, and strangers and people that know each other, we would be like in Pennsylvania, and people would start getting all talkative, and we're like asking questions. We're like, "Well, what the fuck's it to you? What are you, a cop? Like, what? Like, you get paranoid about how nice people are in other places because we had never seen anything like that. And then we started traveling more and more. We realized, like, oh, we're the assholes. Nowhere else are people fucking assholes like this. So they all think we're assholes, and they're all just genuinely nice. They don't. Well, I'm sure some of them have an agenda, but
when I was drinking,
no one else talks to each other like that.
I was the guy who got written on. Like that, I would black out hard and pass out, and people would draw on me. And one of the things that I'm so happy I don't drink anymore is I don't have to deal with that. But I have a friend who's...
Are they still doing it in their 40s?
One of my buddies, he has like an alter ego when he blacks out. He goes hard, and it's really just like a disruptive, like he turns into like a mad scientist, like a supervillain when he ggets blacked out, and he did. And he pissed all over my friend's couch. That's
not a good one.
So
that's too far from me.
No, he didn't do it on purpose. He fell asleep.
Oh, he was just blacked out, fucked up. Yeah.
And he pissed all over the couch, asleep. So it is. But for vengeance, the next time he turned into his alter ego, guy on the couch, drew all over his face. And like we don't say anything. So we wake up the next day, and he still doesn't say nothing, and it's a full day of us sitting around with him, and we go to get.
He was hanging out all day like that.
Yeah. We go to get in the Uber to go back to Southeast from Quincy.
He goes in the bathroom and like...
No, he didn't notice. And he had drawn a lot of stuff on him. He had like a big swastika over.
I figured that was in there. Yeah.
There's a rainbow flag on one side and then a big swastika on the other side. And we go to get in the Uber, and the Uber driver's black, and I go, sitting back. And he's like, why? And I go, just sitting back for me, please. And I can see, as we're driving home, suddenly the Uber driver looks in the rearview mirror, and like, to the fucking, I go, I'm so glad this isn't me who ordered the Uber, because you're getting a fucking 1-star rating.
Yeah. Who ordered the Uber? Was it him?
It was, and...
See, that's fair play, man. He pissed all over a couch.
Yeah, but
Fair play.
I'd explain to my girl that I had friends who do that to me, and then they'd let me walk home, like because I'd walk
Like you might get fucking jumped or something.
Well, thankfully, that's just fucking mean.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just mean writing in general.
Yeah.
Like usually I get the big dick.
Yeah, the dick's a
I
classic.
get a dick on
I
the
just
floor.
watched a movie where the guy wakes up and he's on the beach naked and he FaceTimes his fiance and she's got a swastika made of dicks that he's got on his head. He doesn't realize till like it's like her and her parents and then the rabbi that's going to marry them on the FaceTime, and they're like, "What's that on your head?" And he realizes, "Oh no, it's just a filter. What is it? Bad grandpa. Bad grandpa." Yeah. That scene, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that used to happen all the time."
It is. It's been a cultural, I don't know, adaptation. Because I don't like a lot of this stuff. Obviously, we wouldn't do anymore because we're adults now.
Yeah.
Just a certain people.
Younger generations are doing that.
No, they're not.
No.
I don't think so.
There's some good to it, but there's also like it's like
It's a whole new ball game out there.
yeah.
I don't know what's going on with those kids.
It's funny, but I also think there's like a deeper thing to it. Where it's almost like it toughens you up. Like it's like this game we play with each other. It's almost like sparring.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's a psychological sparring match to toughen the other. Your
I think it's true. Like,
comrades up.
yeah, your buddy's not. You know, we had a buddy with a stutter, and his last name was Trask. We call him Trask. Now that's his Instagram name. Do you think it fucking bothers him if he's out in the world and someone makes fun of his stutter?
Exactly. That's
He's
what
like,
I'm saying, 'cause
he doesn't give a shit. Yeah.
You bred him to be hard and like confident. And I laugh about it.
Oh, it's like dude, I went bald at 21. I'd be in bars with my friends. I'd be talking to a girl, and they'd be like, walk over, like, how old do you think he is? He looks 52, right? And I'm just like, fuck. It's like, the only other place I've really seen that was in Ireland, because I remember going to this. I was on a class trip and we were at this small town pub, and they went nuts for the American girls that were there. Came with my class, and their thing was like their friend would be trying to hook up, talk to a girl, and they wouldn't go over there and help him. They go over there and fucking
fuck it up.
they'd kick his legs out from under him. They'd trash him in front of the girl.
That's exactly what. Yeah, I had those friends.
Yeah.
I had those friends. A lot of that, honestly, that was just jealousy. That's like,
Yeah, that's what it is.
This motherfucker. It's the one guy that's actually successful. It tends to be successful, and these guys start hating. They're like,
That
"I'm
is
gonna go
what
fuck
that
this
is.
shit up."
That is the jealousy aspect. The dude who hates, who comes over and ruins your chances.
Yeah.
It's
I don't do that. I'll talk my guy up. You know?
No, yeah, I was never like that. I always wanted to help, because I was like, you get laid. Now there's a girl in the group. She's gonna bring more girls around. I have a better chance of getting laid. Like,
Yeah.
this is a symbiotic relationship. All right, we can all get laid
Fucking A,
together.
yeah. And it's just a fun time then. Yeah.
It's a village.
It takes a village to get all your
Well,
friends
you-
laid. Yeah.
You guys both got daughters. Do you find that they're in a completely different world than we are?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try to bust your balls.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, same with me. I mean, my daughter is raised by me, so
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be doing just fine. But sometimes she's heavily into the drama and all her friends. And here's the thing: they have constant contact with each other with the phones and the Snapchats and the video shit, and it's like one big hangout all the time.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then they love the drama a lot more now, but it comes and goes faster. It's that instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes she tells me something. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand what the point is. Like, she said what? Okay, don't listen to her. I don't get it. Because, none of them are in front of each other, punching each other in the face anymore. I guess not to sound like a classic old guy, but...
Well, I think not being able to disengage, too, adds an extra element. Because you can't...
Yeah, they can't escape it. Because they're in
can't
some
just be
group
at
chat. And, yeah. You can't be like, fuck you guys, I'm going home. And then it simmers down. And then the next day it's back because it goes through the night and it spreads because everyone's in contact with everyone. It's fucking crazy. It's weird.
What's I don't know. Is there any aspect of parenting now which just scares you?
Scares me.
Or you? Like, I don't know. I
the whole thing's been terrifying the whole time.
Because I want kids.
It's fucking awesome.
And I am a bit nervous.
I think most parents, what's the real issue is like, am I doing this right? Am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? You know.
I beat up on myself a lot.
Yeah, that's the real scary thing. Like,
You're always worried I might.
yeah, am I fucking this poor kid up because I'm more fucked up than I realize and I'm putting my shit on her and now she, you know, like that's what I worry about. Or like she comes to me with a problem and the fact of the matter is I don't know what the fuck the right answer is. A lot of her problems I'm like, oh, I want to say you go to school tomorrow and you punch that girl in the fucking face, but I can't say that. But I know if I did that at that age, that would have worked. That used to
it does work. It still does work.
No one, you would do that. At 12 years old, 13 years old, someone give you a hard time, you fucking smash their face and knock them out in front of everyone. No one's giving you a fucking problem anymore. Except your close friends. You know?
It's funny because that's exactly
But you can't, as a parent, tell her that. It's like, even with her, like, I get along with her mom real well, and we talk about all this stuff together, and we'll talk about this shit. And her mom's the same way. She's like, I really wish I could just tell her to knock that bitch out. I'm like, yeah, me too. We can't do it. She's like, I know. And that wouldn't even get the same response now either. If she did that now, I think it would make it worse.
Yeah. That's what my dad would tell me. Like when I was a kid.
It works.
I remember.
Well, it used to work.
Flowback, that was the problem with that.
The flowback, yeah. And it's going to be on video and everyone's a snitch and everyone's got a big mouth and there's no code of like silence. Yeah. There's no accountability of like, yeah, maybe I act like an asshole and deserve to get punched in the face. There's none of that. It's just like a new form of Wild West.
I think the approach what you guys were talking about earlier, like when someone's blowing, commenting on your shit and they're writing paragraphs and flipping out.
Yeah. Well, that's what I tell my daughter now. Yeah, like ignore it. It'll die quicker than you think.
Yeah.
There's a mean like response, kind of like the too long didn't read.
Yeah.
Someone says all this shit to you, you just go, no, you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, just diminish it, minimize it, right? That is what I end up telling her for advice. I'm like, act like it doesn't bother you at all, even if it does. I said, you could talk to me about it, you could talk to a trusted friend about it, but act like it doesn't bother you, and it'll go away real fast because they want that response is what they want.
You can be funny.
Yeah, humor. You probably got along with that pretty good.
Yeah.
Humor saved a lot of, I think being funny saved a lot of guys from ass whoopings throughout the years.
I started getting funny because I was.
Not that you would know anything about being funny.
Because I was a white kid in like mostly all black schools up until high school.
Yeah.
And it was a way of like endearing or just like. Because in Boston in the 90s, you can imagine race,
it's a way
race
of
was a
winning them
fucking
over.
thing.
Yeah.
So it was a way to deal with that. And then when I came back to go to school with Southie kids, they gave it to me just as bad.
Yeah, because now you're an outsider.
I'm an outsider, so I had to do it all over again. So for me, it was just a survival mechanism.
Yeah. I ran into it when my mother moved to Southie. I think I was 13, and I remember being like, "Take a walk, make friends with the local kids," and I was already like, I don't think that's how that works. Got to the end of the road and got in a fight.
Yeah.
Didn't even make it one block.
That sounds
like,
about right.
Yeah, that's not how it works. Yeah.
That's exactly.
Just because I live here now, it doesn't. I'm an outsider. Mm-hmm. Unless they've known you since like kindergarten. Fuck you.
Well, I imagine the changes is. Do you notice differences in like the hardcore scene? Is it still violent? Like it used to be?
It is less violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I think that's good.
Yeah.
It's a different time and it's what's appropriate for the time. Like if how I went to a show now, it wouldn't be the same experience, but I understand the development of it. And the fact that like we wouldn't have venues to have shows if everyone kept having giant brawls every show nowadays, right? There'd be nowhere left to have shows. So it's a positive change, but I'm glad the way it was when I was younger growing up into it.
Do you still go to shows?
As much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, between work, been trying to record a new album now for 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so songwriting, and I just practice and all that. And then with the fight training and stuff, and then parenting, rom-com date nights with my girlfriend. It's I'm not really getting out there that much. But I try to still hit them up as much as I can.
As I feel like there's certain musical scenes and musical genres that, are better or less adapted and better adapted for as you age. And I've noticed it with like a lot of rap, metal, punk, and hardcore. Like sometimes you don't grow out of the music, but you can grow out of the scene because there's an amount of violence or like with techno, it's drugs. You're doing fucking ecstasy and Molly all the time.
I think there becomes almost like a high school type social circle aspect to any of those types of cultures, you know? But I think I'm lucky enough throughout the years, I've had so many friends that I came up in it with, and we've been through so much together. I'm really lucky to have the circle of friends I have, and that's what we had in common. And now we have all these experiences together growing up and touring together and whatever else, getting in trouble together. And then now we have families together and our kids hang out. So when I go to a hardcore show, it's still those same fucking people.
Yeah.
And now we're not out there fighting. We're bringing our kids and getting them into the music. And they're running around and roughhousing and having fun too.
Have you ever seen...
So there's obviously a change, but for me, it's still... like a home, you know?
Yeah, it's still family.
And I don't know if everyone that got into hardcore punk or whatever, I don't know if they still have that, but I know me and my friends have it, and we're lucky to have it.
It's good to see, because not everyone, you know. Especially nowadays, I feel like lots of people I knew when I was younger are fucking dead anyway.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately.
No, that's why I wore this T-shirt. I got the news. We lost another buddy today who does all the booking for Middle East. Jimmy Flynn, he ran a thing called Hardcore Stadium. We knew his health wasn't good, but man, awesome kid, always doing tons of things for the bands, tons of things for the hardcore scene. He was writing zines before the internet was big. And then, you know, that was that. I got the word. So last time I saw him, he gave me this shirt. So I got to rock the shirt tonight. Oh. But yeah, it's nonstop, man. Yeah. Not to bum out the mood.
No,
you know? It's all too often.
It's part of, so when I was going through my shit last week with like anxiety and stress. I had an anxiety attack. Yeah. And I didn't think I'd ever have one after making progress I did in my life. Yeah. And I never had one this bad. And it was related to the fact that I'm getting older and there's less and less people I knew. Yeah. And it bothered me. It really put like a finite concept of life and time. And it got to me, but it is like no one fucking tells you how to handle it, really. Yeah. My parent, I didn't know anyone who told me.
It is that like classic middle-aged turning point. Like we're getting there, man. And now I think being like from where I'm from and from where you're from, we especially lose more people than a lot of people. You know, I think the drug addiction stuff is rampant.
Drugs and suicide.
The violence, the suicide, the alcohol. I mean, maybe that probably is actually everywhere. Yeah. But I feel like particularly, you know, I see pictures of myself and like me and 5 dudes. It's like, I'm the only one alive out of that. Yeah. All the time. It's fucking crazy. And I'm sure, like, you know, where you grew up, it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it sucks.
It makes me value
the people that are still there.
Yeah, and life in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it really makes me realize, not everyone makes it this far. I didn't think I'd make it this far. Yeah. So that's the sort of stuff I do to get myself out of those situations is, be happy that you have this.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
You know, it's not, and, you know, shit changes, but it's not always for the worse. Yeah. Sometimes there's bad aspects, but there's good aspects to it. But
I think the fact that we're still able to like pursue all the stuff that we like to do. Yeah. Look at how many people in our other trader work that seem to get really close-minded and tunnel vision, and then they get very fucking miserable and trapped, and it's their whole life.
Yeah, I had to catch myself.
Hey, you can pursue all that shit still, but you have to make an effort, and you have to sacrifice some things.
I had to make myself be able to be a fan of comedy again, because for a little period, I got resentful.
Yeah, of course.
And then I was like, I fucking love this shit. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because when I started watching other people again, and I go, this is fucking great. This dude's awesome. Yeah. I should have given him a chance sooner. Yeah. You know, and in the back of my head, you know, I think some of it was jealousy, but I go, this dude's awesome.
Yep. I can relate to that 1,000% with music.
Yeah, where sometimes I wouldn't watch someone because of, I'll be honest, I guess I've been lying to myself, but it's just jealousy. Yeah. You know? I see someone do something, I go, fuck.
It doesn't necessarily have to be jealousy of the material, but of just that they've gotten to be more comfortable with the rest of their life. For me, like financial freedom just means I don't really care about the money. I want to be able to have the time to just keep doing all the shit I love to do. Yeah. So if someone gets big money-wise off doing what they love to do, the cool thing at that is that's more, for me, it's like, I have more time to keep doing other cool stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to go fucking pull motor chain up at the ceiling of the garden tomorrow.
Yeah, that's my
I
only
can
concern.
go to the recording studio if I have an idea, or I can get some sparring partners together and go beat the shit out of each other, or take my daughter to a movie date or something. I could do that, but instead I gotta go. That's the real freedom of that for me. That's success. But also I think being appreciated for like a lot of people don't know how much effort gets put into that kind of thing.
No.
And I've never tried comedy, but I imagine it's pretty damn similar to music, like endless hours people don't see of thinking about it, trying different things, going over it. It's like
I've spent thousands and thousands of hours
and
on
money.
Yeah, and money and time.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is so you're a guy you've toured with tons of people. You've met plenty of people that are famous. And I've done that with stand up, where I've gotten to meet some people who've made it really big. And, I'll tell people, I've done shows with them.
Yeah.
They don't believe me because they think there's this giant disparity in like levels. They kind of think like if you
they think it's another world almost.
Yeah, they think if
and then
you
it's
become
separated.
famous, you're separate. It's like you're a fucking king in that field. And I go, nah, dude, I'll be
like they're behind a castle
guys.
wall that they never come out from behind, and we're stuck with the peasants here. And,
yeah, and I'm like, it's not that far because they'll like. I'll give them I give like people on into stand up, my friends on insights into comedy. They just don't fucking believe me. And I was like, dude, if I said this on Rogan, you'd fucking believe this.
You need the guy to vouch. You need some other famous.
I just need somebody to co-sign, and suddenly that's how it works.
Yeah, no, I've definitely noticed like in the middle of telling some story, and I'll be like, this person I'm telling this to does not even fucking believe this thing.
No, they don't.
But geez, there's probably a million other stories I don't even remember that they wouldn't believe even more.
No, it's
or I can't say.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's a thinner. There's no real line there. It's this imaginary thin line, and a lot of those guys and girls that are real successful are actually very fucking cool. And if you hit it off with them, you hit it off with them.
I'm curious. How do you? Because I've been thinking about this a lot about a lot of like this stuff. Stuff I did when I was a dirtbag or it's like a piece of shit. And I go, how do I account for this now that I've changed so much? Right. But also like if I have kids, like how do I tell them not to do what I fucking did? How do you navigate that or like coming to terms with,
you got to own it.
Yeah.
You got to just own it. I mean, obviously I'm not going to tell my kid all the details.
Yeah.
But I'm very open with like, hey, I've made this same mistake or I've done some similar things and it doesn't work out right for you. You know, like you got to you can use it positively if you own it. And obviously you edit it a little, but you don't really have to edit it. I don't think as much as I'm pretty lucky. My kid's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I don't have to edit too much. I obviously don't tell her anything inappropriate. Yeah. But I'm very open. Like, hey, I have fucked up a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. And then when I give her advice, I usually add that in. I'll say, I was in a similar situation. This worked for me. I don't know if it'll work for you. You should try this, but you have to own it. And I think that helps them like see you as a relatable, like real person too, instead of this like parental figure that they can't trust or believe in too, I don't have to, I can have authority without being, like, I don't like the parents that are like, I'm your best friend and everything's okay and everything's cool. Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you hold them accountable, you give them real advice and you give them some boundaries, but you also have to be like, I'm not doing this because I'm better than anyone or I'm perfect. Like, I had all these mistakes happen and I'm trying to show you also how much better life can be without fucking this up. Mm-hmm. That's it. I just kind of own it. You? Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to honestly better.
Yeah.
Example.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe I'm fucking her up.
No, I think it's that's what my theory was because I have these moments where I look back and I'm just obviously there's plenty of stuff I don't fucking tell my wife. Well, if she asked, I'd be honest with her, but we just kind of we don't ask each other about what we did.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I look at it like this with that, like with my girl, like it's not my business what she's done before me.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's not her business. Same thing. I would tell her the truth if she asked about something, but before we were together, what does it matter? We've all grown. We've all developed. Like
we have
I'm pretty open, like podcasts, other interviews I've done. Like I'm pretty open about a lot of things, so it's out there. People can find what I
had this moment with. So we don't delve into each other's like sexual pasts, right? Mm-hmm. Really, and she knows I've done things, right? Yeah. And I remember saying something to her. I was like, I go, yeah, I'm your first gringo, and she goes, you're not my first gringo. And I go, dude, I had to go outside and stand on the balcony and just, I don't know why, it bothered me. Like, dude, it bothered me.
Of all the things.
Like, I thought I was planting my fucking flag here. I thought I was like Columbus just coming in.
Yeah.
Like, and she said that, and I was like, my girl was with some white motherfucker. Like, that's my thing.
But now what do you think? Because I think now it says it's almost better that you weren't the first gringo. Because it's not because you're a gringo. She just genuinely.
I felt more unique, Frankie. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was a novelty
like
to
I'm
it.
the gringo that could get it done.
I felt like I had gotten through a barrier here. I had snuck through a wall in a reverse immigration fashion. Like I had pulled something off, and like she's not my first Latina by a long shot. So I'm not in a position to judge.
Yeah. But that disillusion still hits you.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
and I was like, she's like, we shouldn't talk about this. And I go, well, that's not, like
yeah.
But even
should have dumped her.
Yeah, right. I have these where I'm in like a.
Maybe you caught yourself. You went outside.
Well, even when I see things from a better point in my life, where I look back on things I've done, where I was like, oh man, how do I advocate for not doing this shit when I fucking done it?
Yeah.
And I feel like giving examples is the only way to be like.
Yeah, you flip it right on itself.
Yeah.
You can advocate for not doing it because you've done it.
Like, hey, don't.
Because you can say, I did it, and all I got back was negative things. Mm-hmm. It got me nowhere. It put me in a depression loop or, whatever. That's it, I've told my kid, despite wanting to tell my kid to just go in there and punch someone in the face, I've been like, look, you can't get violent unless it's absolutely self-defense. I've been arrested for fighting. It sucks, like, you just got to put it there.
Do you ever think you'd be telling your kids not to punch somebody?
I mean, yeah. I also look like this. It's not, everyone's wired different and the path's not the same for anyone, right? So to assume the path would have been the same for her as me, like she's not that person that I am. It's not fair to put my values on her or like when I was your age, I would just do this, so you should do this. And then she thinks that's right. But if she's not wired like that and she's not that type of person, that's not her path. Now I've fucked her up, right? I've made her think that she's got to act this way. She doesn't have to act. She has to act the way that she really feels is right, as long as it doesn't get her in trouble.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. So I never thought I'd be saying that. But you kind of figure that out. It's like, I don't teach her to hate cops.
Yeah.
I don't like cops.
But you let her.
But I tell her, when she's younger, I say, hey, if you ever got lost, you go to if a cop I teach her to respect it and not get herself in trouble. Because who the fuck am I? She might not be that person when she grows up. So why would I want to go get her in all that trouble or teach her this fucking criminal lifestyle when she's just this good, smart kid trying to go about her life, Yeah.
That's how you saddle them with baggage early on before they even need it.
Yep. So I that's the stuff I kind of try to leave. I try to not like steer her own personal beliefs. Mm-hmm. And just kind of help her make good decisions that are good for her, that keep her out of trouble, keep her safe, keep her learning things, and that's that. That's it.
Do you ever miss like the old lifestyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I figured out, I don't miss, I stopped, like, let's take touring, for instance.
Yeah.
That's like, when I first started doing it, I loved it. That's all I ever wanted, and it was such a good time for so long. But when I was done, and I'm still, like, to me, that's a nightmare to have to live like that now. It's just, I can't do all this other stuff I love to do. I lose connection with my family back home, being away that much. I don't want to do that, But for me, it's more like, I figured it out. It's the adrenaline rush stuff like we were talking about. That's it. So I find that in other ways that don't get me arrested and get me in trouble.
How do you feel? Was it a weird feeling for you musically going from being in a band to doing stuff solo?
It was harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was harder. It was harder to like play that first fucking. Just sit there with an acoustic guitar and sing for 20 people is harder than to play with a whole band behind you and this big banging sound system for 2,000 people.
Yeah.
It was more intimate and more raw, and and harder to win people over because you got no tricks up your sleeve. You know, just you out there. You've really got to put it out there.
I was always
a lot harder.
Envious of bands because, like, if you fail as a band, all 5 of you get to fail together.
Yep.
With comedy, if you fail, it's just.
You
go
there
back
with
to
your
the
dick
green
in your
room,
hand. You're fucked.
And if someone else had a good set, they come in and you're just like, fucking.
Yeah. It's hard, man. It's being alone. You know, I love having the backup band with me, but it doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah.
You know what?
All right. Well, yeah. Oh shit.
Jeez,
we went way too long. Well, not too long.
Edit it down, whatever.
No.
But yeah, it's different. You know, like when I have the album out and I have songs with full bands behind me, I have to have a band. When I go perform those songs, I got to have a band behind me. Mm-hmm. But right now, when I go to play a barroom gig, now it has become easy because I'm used to it. I just go and I play, and it's fine.
So what? Do you still do stuff with Death Before Dishonor?
I'll play like a local show for fun.
Yeah.
Basically, if I see they're doing a show I want to do, I hit up Brian and go, hey, I want to play the show, and I play it. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to tour. So I'll do, Boston, Connecticut, maybe, something.
So you wrote a lot of music for the band, right?
Yep.
Did you ever come to a point where you're like, because a lot of hardcore music there's an anger element. Mm-hmm. Did you ever go like, I'm not as fucking angry as I used to be, and have a hard time writing?
Yep.
I've had writing aspects
that was stand-up. Huge, and it wasn't what I want to be writing anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, even doing the solo stuff was harder. It's what I really wanted to be playing and doing. I couldn't write the heavy stuff. Like Brian would hit me up, like, "Hey, I know you don't tour no more. I could use your help with some more of the new album." And I can't help you. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Much. I got nothing to scream about, man. Here and there, I did contribute here and there, but not nearly as much to the last album, like barely.
I'm going through that phase with stand-up where I used, like a lot. I've changed. So like the jokes I used to do, I don't like doing them anymore.
Yeah, but people are gonna smell that if you're being inauthentic and you continue. They do. They'll smell it on you. And
I'm just trying to figure out.
Take the step and just do what you got to do.
Because you do more like, I don't know, folk. Is that a good way of classifying?
I guess I don't know. I get happy when people can't classify it. But it's like folk mixed with blues. I don't really know what you call it.
Well, how?
I just do it's this weird mashup of all the music I love.
Oh, so did it come to you naturally?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I started just learning to play the songs that I liked from whoever, no matter what style, and kind of playing them in a row and over, and then you go to write a song and it just kind of takes on attributes naturally, as you start writing and stuff. So I remember when I wrote the Ballad of Antonio song, I sent it to a good musician friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, I love this. This is awesome." He goes, "What the fuck kind of music do you call this? Like pirate folk country?" Or he said some funny ass pirate criminal music. I go I guess, man, but I was like, that's the biggest compliment you could have gave me because I want it to stand out as something totally unique and different sounding. Mm-hmm. And I think it's getting there.
I'm getting there. It's just
it's
fucking scary. It was scary when I first when I
well, you got to blend. I think I mix it. So even at the bar stuff, now I still got to do the crowd pleasers. That I'm sick of playing because the same people that come out to see me want to hear whatever and random Irish folk song that I do love to do. But it's I just want to play all my shit. Mm-hmm. But you give them the crowd pleasers and you mix it in. That's what I do.
What's next for you? Any shows or anything you want to do specifically?
I just want to finish this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it all. I've got it all these songs written, and I've got a bunch of tracking done here and there. I just got to tie it all together. Mm-hmm. So I've stopped. I might do a random live show here. They're like a little bar show, but I've stopped doing any of that till I just get this done. And I'm really pushing to just fucking make it happen.
Have you hit a wall, or are you?
The wall is the time.
Yeah, time.
It's the time to get it done. I don't have a studio. I do it at home. There's kids there. There's a puppy there. There's a girlfriend there. There's loud noises, and there's not enough space to have my own space.
Yeah.
So that's the real issue.
Well, where can people find your music?
It's on. So the official stage name now is Puopolo, P-A-P-A-L-O-W.
Yeah.
If you look that up on whatever you listen to music on, Spotify, Google Music, Apple Music, YouTube. It's just Puopolo. That's where you'll find everything I've released so far. So there's a lot of demo stuff, some like just acoustic pre-production stuff, a couple finished songs that I did as singles. The song that you use is up on there, but then the new album will be up too on a Puopolo, and anything at Puopolo Music on everything, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff too.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, dude.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. I think
we'll do it again soon. Fuck it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks, man.
Nice catching up, Mike.